for a daily dose of dragon feather. And today you guys voted for the episode. If you didn't vote, you can always vote for next time if you want videos to choose the video topics for our daily dose next time. But keep an eye on that community tab so you guys get to choose the order. And you guys chose today, you wanted an intro to dragon magic. So I am going to cover everything that I can possibly conceive of when it comes to beginning working with dragons and their magic. So I got my notes here so I don't skip or miss anything like I kind of did in the last dragon stream. I was a little bit unorganized in the all types of dragon one. It was very impromptu, rough and ready, but today we got a breakdown. I'm very excited, very long time coming. We won't be channeling dragons today, but I do have some messages from my guardians in regards of working with dragons. So if you're excited to learn about dragon magic and the introduction to dragon magic, then grab a snack, grab a drink, get cozy. You might as well grab some friends too, because this one's gonna be extra fun today. And don't worry guys, we are going to cover everything from what are dragons, what is magic, to the details of ritual and offerings and the different types of dragons you can work with, the different ones that can work with you, and there'll be a little bit of a Q&A at the end. So if you guys have any like extra special questions as we go through, feel free to leave them in the chat. And also, we will be going over some misconceptions because there seems to be a lot about when it comes to working with dragons. So, Nightmare Fuel Studios, welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. So if you're excited, then please buckle up. We got a lot in store for you today. So we're just gonna kind of hang out, catch up. How you been? I'm also drinking, of course, the spirit water. They brought it back. I'm so happy. I love this. It's called Starfire water, not spirit water. My bad. But this is amazing. Every time I drink it, I just feel so alive and electric, and like my cognitive function is so much better. I don't know if that's a placebo. Okay? I don't know if that's a placebo, but I'm gonna let you know that this water, I really love it. Okay? It's really good water. And I love that it comes in glass, because glass, very necessary when it comes to your water. You don't want plastic in your water, okay? It's very scary. So many microplastics, so little time. Anyway, Eddie's Funhouse, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. And Katie Robinson, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. So good to see you. Cheers to my friends. I hope you guys are excited for today's topic as I am, because we're really cracking this one open, okay? Because like, you know, everybody has their own approach to working with dragons and practicing dragon magic. So we're gonna start the whole stream with that, my friends, because if anyone you see in this life, including me, okay, I'm calling myself out too, anyone in this world, if they tell you that there is only one way to do something when it comes to spirituality, that is not true, okay? There's always going to be more than one way to work with dragons and more than one way to practice draconic magic or dragon magic. So, with that being said, let's jump into it. First of all, what are dragons? I'm glad you asked. Well, dragons, contrary to popular belief, are not fantasy creatures. No, no, ma'am. Dragons, in the way that people know them today, are like CGI monsters of House of the Dragon, or greedy little horde monsters like Smaug from, you know, The Hobbit. But that actually couldn't be further from the truth of the real true nature of what dragons are. Dragons, trying to put your finger on defining them can be quite difficult, which is why there's still so much debate today around what a dragon really is. So some common like themes of what people would say dragons are, first and foremost, are high vibrational interdimensional beings. What does that mean? It means that they're simply on the same level as, say, a spirit or a goddess or an ancestor, if that makes sense. Welcome, Rebel Child Witchery, back to your daily dose of dragon feather. Your local raccoon. Hi, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather, and you're more than welcome to ask questions here. That's what we do on the lives. We do the questions, we do the answers, okay? So a dragon is a spiritual energy, okay? It's a spiritual entity, all right? This is something that can be up for debate for somebody, for some people, right? Some may also argue that dragons are an archetype, right? Some may argue that dragons are a symbol And I would say that the real truth about dragons lies somewhere in all of them. Okay? Somewhere in the mix, in the meshment of all of them. All right? So dragons are going to be conscious spiritual beings outside of yourself. This means that you are able to connect with them in a way that we would connect with our past loved ones, or in a way that we would connect with our spirit guides, or in a way that we would connect with gods and goddesses, right? So each dragon is going to be absolutely different, just the way that every single human is different. That is totally, I would hope, common knowledge. I would hope just like, I would hope that you would, you know, kind of get it. This is the most informative live I've ever watched. Your local raccoon. Well, thank you. But anyway, so what is magic? So magic is going to be that energy. It's a type of energy that is raised very intentionally via a human body, right? We raise magic through our human vessel, through intentional practices like breath work, like ritual, like spell casting, like meditation, like visualization, like chanting, and so on and so forth. Magic looks very different for everybody, and that's exactly how it should be. Chances are you ask a witch, you ask, you know, even someone who's not a witch, what magic means to them, you're gonna get a different answer. And that's because magic is actually quite subjective to the practitioner or to just a human's eyes in general. And some would argue that dragons are subjective in the same nature, as is every sort of spiritual experience, wouldn't you agree? So when it comes to dragon magic, what does that mean? That means it is the energy or the ritual or the spells or the chanting or the castings in tandem with dragon spirits or dragon higher vibrational entities. All right? Why is someone whose username is dragon being so mean to us? Nightmare Fuel Studios. I don't know. I didn't even see their username. So I didn't even see their message. So I don't know. The mods are amazing because sometimes I don't see the trash in the chat, and I just y'all are amazing, honestly. Jessica Kruger, good to see you. Welcome back to Your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Woo! And then it says Michael Scott, welcome back to Your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Dragon magic, yo. Whoa, what up? No, it's so exciting, right? Yeah, I know, Rebel Child. It's a little ridiculous. So that's kind of a very general overview of like the breakdown of what dragon magic means. Do you know what a Theron is? Yes, your local raccoon. I am a dragonkin. Surprise. We will be doing a dragonkin stream soon, so if you're interested in theanthropy, otherkin, and dragonkin specifically, hit that subscribe button, because that is what we do on this channel, alright my friends? I have a lot of videos on it already. Chances are, if you look up Therans and otherkin, you're probably going to find my videos. So, super excited to have you here if that's what you're interested in, because you found the right place, my friend. So, this is kind of what I'm saying is like the general description of dragon magic, as plainly as I can put it, you know, but again, every draconic practitioner, every person that practices dragon magic, even people who don't identify as dragon witches but work with dragons, or any type of, any type of person that encounters dragons or, you know, taps in with their energy in a magical way, they're gonna have a little bit of a different interpretation to it, right? So there is, there is like just, you know, that level of interpretation up to it, but generally speaking, dragon magic is the act of raising energy to intentionally act upon a change in your desired reality with the assistance of dragon spirits or dragon guardians. But that is pretty much what we're gonna start with and build our whole video off of that concept, right? So, Vex Tyver, good to see you! Welcome back to Your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Your local raccoon. Yay, I'm Dragonkin too! I'm subscribing now. Yes, I'm so happy! Welcome! Welcome to the fray, my friend. We have the Hatchling Clan amino. I have created this amino for the hatchlings here on the channel. I call the subscribers here hatchlings. So welcome, your local raccoon. You are now a hatchling. Welcome to the Hatchling Clan. If you are interested in connecting with other Therans and otherkin, you can click the link down below to my amino called the Hatchling Clan, and we have a chat room in there that's all for Therans and otherkin, so you can find more people like you. We love you. We do. We want to make sure that all people who identify as Therans or otherkin have a safe space on this channel, okay? And everything we do. Our culture, yeah, Jessica, for real. But anyway, so moving forward, with, now that we kind of know the basic overview of what dragon magic is, let's see what are the requirements for working with dragons, because it really seems very different depending on who you ask, right? So when you work with dragons, what are the prerequisites? Well, it really depends on what dragons you're working with, because chances are every single dragon you work with will have different requirements for working with them. For example, one of the dragon guardians that I work with, the main thing that they want me to do as a requirement to work with them is by doing the daily dose of dragon feather and showing up and sharing with you guys just what it looks like being in my daily life, be that the different topics that I discuss, the way that I read and break down books, the way that I meditate and create space, etc., etc. I requested to join Unicoven again. Yes, Rebel Child Witchery. I'm gonna have to probably open that. I don't know if I'm gonna open that community and make it a private one or not. Like, we're gonna see, okay? We're gonna see if we can keep it open to the public, but we're gonna see. I will definitely go check the requests after this live. So, excuse me. Like I was saying, every single dragon is different, okay? The different dragons that I work with have absolutely different requirements, and some are more strict than others. It really just depends. And sometimes you might just have, dragon encounters, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. So generally speaking, when you're working with dragon guardians that are of a benevolent nature, or ones that are of a nature that is good and kind and for your highest good or growth, the only requirement is that you are able to transform yourself. You are able to become a better person and do the internal work in order to elevate yourself in life and to protect what is precious and defend those who need defending. This has been my experience, right? But again, when I'm talking about dragon magic, you must understand that every single practitioner is going to have a different experience. They're going to have a different perspective. And anyone who ever claims that this way is the only way to work with dragons are absolutely a red flag, and you should not take advice from them, because that is very dangerous territory. There is no absolutes when it comes to spirituality, period. It is a personal, subjective experience. So therefore, you can practice whatever you want. However, some might say that the spirits you're working with, if you choose to take a route that is not for protecting what's precious, that's not for elevating yourself to the highest good, and not alchemizing your pain into power, some might argue that that's not dragons that you're working with. I'm not going to tell you if you're working with a dragon or not, because I don't know. I'm just a girl who follows her dragons. How the hell would I know about yours? All I'm here to share with you is my experience, and my experience alone. This is my truth, and it might be true for you, but it also might seem kooky and crazy to you. So let me know in the comments if you disagree or if you agree. Some dragons, if you work with malevolent dragons or more darker, evil, ill-intended dragons, which you can, okay? I don't recommend that. It's very scary to work with dragons like that. But I do recommend that if you work with dragons like this, they will have sometimes very intense prerequisites for you to do. And you really need to use your discernment on deciding which dragons are going to be the right ones to work with you. So that's really all I'm gonna say. This is not a path for everyone. Here's a little bit of a warning, okay? We're gonna get into the warning part of the video now. Disclaimer, my friends, working with dragons is not for everybody, okay? And the reason why it's not for everybody is because it's hard medicine. And what do I mean by that? Working with dragons is brutal in the sense that you will be forced to look into the mirror at the parts of yourself that you do not like every single day. Every single day. And if you want to keep working with dragons and you want to keep developing a closer bond to them, you will be put through dragon fire. What does that mean? Absolute brutal challenges, absolute traumatic scenarios that you have to find a way out of. You have to find a way how to help people, right? Sometimes standing up for what's right is scary, but that is how you attract dragons, right? Evolving yourself, decolonizing your brain, understanding where your roots come from. Who really are you, right? It's so hard, Vex Typher, which is why I do not recommend working with dragons for everybody, although everybody is able to work with dragons, okay? You do not have to be some special person to work with dragons, and anyone who claims that they're some special person because they work with dragons are absolutely out of their mind, okay? Like, that is just not based in real spiritual practices. It's just not, because anyone can work with dragons. Anyone can work with dragons. What did I say? Anyone can work with dragons, but it's not for everybody, okay? Not for everybody. And that's why I really, 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 really want to let you guys know this here right now. That you must have an open mind and an open heart, but you also must be able to regulate your emotions. You must be able to ground yourself in reality. You must be able to trust your own intuition and to trust your own senses and to trust your own interpretation of reality. Because if you do not have those skills really, really fine-tuned, sometimes working with dragons can really send you into a bad place because you're not prepared. So please know that going forward, even the most beginner of paths working with dragons is advanced magic compared to any other craft. And I will die on this hill, okay? Dragon magic is advanced magic, even for beginner witches, okay? It is not something that you should ever take lightly, all right? It's something that's not to be dabbled around with like you will in D&D, okay? While we love D&D on this channel and we absolutely get inspiration from D&D sometimes, it is not reality when it comes to working with dragons in a very, very, very spiritual practice, okay? So again, just want to let you guys know that if you're considering working with dragons and you're looking for, you know, a good introductory, a good beginner guide, this is the one for you. Please don't use my video as the only guidance. You need to consume information from everywhere. But that leads me into my next portion. Now that we have the warning out of the way, what's the best way for you to start working with dragons, but doing it in a healthy way that grounds you, that helps you not lose sense of reality, if you will? I'm glad you asked. The best way to do that is 110% to start researching the mythology of dragons. What did people used to worship? What did people used to do about dragons? Where did they come from? You know, how many different cultures can you find that have dragon magic? What do their folklore say? What were the practices like working with those dragons? Did people worship dragons? Yes, the hell they did. And chances are you're gonna find out that dragons have been around a lot longer than things like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and all of the modern day religions we have. Dragons have been around a lot longer than you think. And they're even in the oldest religion today. Do you guys know what the oldest religion alive today is? Anyone? Hinduism. And there's actually also dragons in there too. Shout out to Naga. But here's the thing. You have to know that since dragons are so like intertwined with human like culture and human concepts of creation and mythology and elemental forces, that is exactly where you need to start when it comes to working with dragons. And chances are that when you start down that rabbit hole of, you know, looking at the myths and just going wherever, you know, your heart takes you, if you will, please know that when you're consuming this information, to have a critical eye, because some of the things that you're going to find online aren't always going to be accurate, right? So I also recommend looking into books if you want to learn about dragons in a very spicy way. I'm going to recommend The First Sex by Elizabeth Gold Davis. I know it's not a book on dragons, but it's full of dragon mythology, myths, legends, and lore, and how they tie into the creation of the human race. So that's just one book you can use. But again, you should always be diving into as many resources as possible. That means any books that you find on dragons, consume it, okay? Anything that you find online about dragons, consume it. But you also have to have that discernment that there may or may not be falsehoods in this. So with that being said, just keep a good level head on and don't be too quick to rush into seeing a video and adopting it as your whole new identity. That's what we're trying to avoid here, and what I'm really trying to emphasize on taking some time to really pace yourself. Okay? Silly, chilly, hilly, filly, milly, filly! Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. I love your name. I'm obsessed with your name and your profile picture. You're adorable. Thank you for joining and giving me some amusement today. You're very sweet. I love you. Just a nickel more. It's a good idea to start with iguanas. You know what? There might be some validity to that, my friend. There might be some validity to that, my friend. It's a spicy read. It really is a spicy read. DeForest Morgan, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. It's good to have you back. Yes, Vex Typher, it is so worth it working with dragons. Hi Azura, how are you? I love turning into your lives. I find them very interesting, informative, and inspirational. I've been following your channel for quite a few years, so amazing. Oh my gosh, Stephanie Joe, so much love to you. Thank you for joining the Daily Dose of Dragon Feather, and welcome back to yours, because today we're about to get super duper duperly doo into the dragons. So, moving on to the next part of this topic. When you start doing your dive into mythology, you're gonna find what? A lot of different types of dragons. You're gonna find different forms of dragons. For example, the difference between a sea serpent and a drake and a amphitheater and a wyvern and an ouroboros and a hydra. You're gonna find all these different versions of dragons, right? But you're gonna also find different elemental types, right? So you're gonna find the earth dragons, the water dragons, the fire dragons, the air dragons, the spirit dragons, the light dragons, the dark dragons, the maelstrom dragons, the chaos dragons, and it goes on and on and on, my loves. But you're also gonna find dragon hybrids, like the fairy dragon, like the manticore, like the draconyx, okay? There's gonna be so many different things that you're gonna find in mythology. And you're supposed to let your heart guide you during that journey, because every single practitioner of dragon magic is going to specialize in something else. Yes, even among us draconic witches, we all tend to specialize in something different because that's what the dragons are leading us to do. If all of us were practicing the same form of dragon magic, now where would the fun be in that? Absolutely no growth would be had if it's all the same baseline. That's why our different perspectives as draconic witches or practicers of dragon magic are going to have a little bit of a different perspective to offer, to help us learn, to help us grow, and to challenge each other. It's a really special when you really get into it. Excuse me, Nessie. I don't know if she counts as a dragon or a sea serpent or just a legendary creature, but I love the legend. She absolutely is a sea serpent, but sea serpents are dragons, okay? So dragon is like an umbrella term, and then all the different like variations of dragons fall underneath. And depending on who you ask, you might find some more different variations of dragons under the term dragon than you ever thought possible. Some people will think that modern day birds are dragons. Some people will think that modern day reptiles are dragons, and I am inclined to fall in that category. But there's also even more than that, right? You have literally anything you can tack dragon on the end of it, and it's literally there and able for you to work with. Sometimes people will even work with pop culture dragons in their practice. All of it is valid, okay? Because at the end of the day, working with dragons and practicing dragon magic is a subjective, individual experience that is up to you to create for yourself. I can't give you all of the tools. I can't tell you how to practice. I don't have a book saying this is how you do it and that's the only way, because that's not true. I am writing a book on how to work with dragons and sharing my system of how I connect with dragons. But again, it's just dragon magic through Azura Dragonfeather's eyes. It's not the be all end all, right? You know, there is no absolute law when it comes to dragons, truly. The only absolute law when it comes to dragons, if you want to work with them truly, is what? The only prerequisite truly is you have to believe in them. If you don't believe in dragons, they will never be real for you, okay? You have to believe in dragons to experience them. I do believe in fairies. I do, okay? So please do not ever get it twisted, all right? Like, especially if other people tell you that the dragons you're working with are demons, especially if they tell you that they're jinn or they're aliens or they're, you know, shadows or shadow people or blah, 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 blah. You never know. But here's the thing. That's up to you to decide, right? It's up to your perception, and if you're not good with your perception of reality, then you're really gonna struggle perceiving your dragons. So that's why I'm gonna recommend becoming super secure in your interpretation of reality, and sometimes that takes a lot of work to get there. But trust, if you take the time to dedicate to yourself, to unlearning your conditioning that keeps you small, that keeps you afraid when it comes to working with dragons, that keeps you doubtful in your magic, I promise you, you will have many rewards, and the dragons are already smiling upon you watching. I promise. I promise. Okay. Rachel Reed, welcome to the live stream in your daily dose of dragon feather. You are so sweet, Rachel. Thank you for joining. And it says, Miles Morales, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather, chemicals and conversations. Welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. We are talking about, you guessed it, an intro to dragon magic. It's pretty exciting. So pop culture like Daenerys's dragons. Correct, okay? Yes, Nightmare Fuel Studios. Dinosaurs, yes. You're able to work with dinosaurs as a form of dragons that is approved. That is approved, that is approved, okay? Land water dragons, okay? Like truly, like literally, okay? Some of them would be arguably air dragons, all right? All right. So it really just depends on how you perceive reality, right? If you perceive reality through the eye of the dragon, as my guardians say, then you will see dragons everywhere and every day, okay? It's just a way of life, especially for many of us who are well seasoned in this. For those of you guys who are new here, my name is Azura Dragonfeather, and I am a Draconic High Priestess of nearly 20 years. I've been a Draconic Witch for nearly 20 years practicing dragon magic, and this is where all of my knowledge comes from. Most of what I know about dragons has come from my consistent work and consistent effort with the dragon guardians by my side, and it has been through trial and error that I have accessed the information. I had to do the internal work to access the knowledge. That is what they do. They are keepers and gatekeepers of knowledge, for the most part. But I digress. Pterodactyls are my favorite. Hell yeah, I love pterodactyls. They are so dragon coated. Are you kidding me? Mr. Rogers, welcome to your daily dose of dragon mother. That was a lot. That was a lot. I'm sorry. This immediately became my favorite channel. Yes, you are my favorite people. Do you know this? I'm obsessed with the hatchlings. Simone, hi. What are the best books to start? For me, I can only speak from my personal experience. The books that I used were DJ Conway books, Dancing with Dragons, Mystical Dragon Magic, and I think just regular Dragon Magic. Though they are very controversial, I will not lie. Although I will say that my first introduction to dragons was through the Dragonology books. And if you're not familiar with the Dragonology books, there's actually some real solid, like, mythology in them. Like, surprise, I know, I had no idea. Literally, the Dragonology books were the ones who told me that those in North America work with a feathered serpent dragon. Yeah, I didn't know. And as a child, I read those Dragonology books and I was never the same, okay? For life, I was changed, okay? I'm not saying everything in the Dragonology books is real, okay? I'm just saying it's a great place to maybe kind of like open your brain to dragon mythology, right? So the Dancing with Dragons books are really truly like dragon magic to the core. But I really do need to find some more books on it because again, it is so very, very hard to know, you know? So I will have a video just on the books that you can start with, right? Weren't the Dragonology books so sick, Vex Hyper? I loved him so much. So would a dinosaur statue work just as well on an altar as a dragon statue or side by side with dragon statues? Absolutely, DeForest. I have dragons and dinosaurs on my dragon altar, right? It's just a different type of, what's it called? Energy, a different type of dragon, you know, like how is it any different than a wyvern, right? It's just a dinosaur, like it's a dragon, it's just a dinosaur dragon, you know what I mean? Seeking Dragons by Virginia Chandler, yes, I've heard that's a good one. Thank you for reminding me, Nightmare Fuel Studios. Mwah. Very good one. And then let's see, am I caught up with the chat? Pretty much. Yes, cats are also dragons. Fun fact, if you want to work with dragons and you have a cat, work with the cat, okay? Work with cat. No. I'm trolling you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, they're very dragon coded. Okay, they are. But you can do with that information what you want. Anyway, moving along. So when you kind of like start doing this and you're like ready to jump into actually the practice, you look through the mythology, you found what resonates with you, you've worked on yourself, you're keeping your space clear, you're making better decisions for yourself, you're realizing where you are the asshole and you're making a difference to change, you're elevating yourself, you're evolving your brain, you know, you are doing what you can to protect what's precious, you're doing what you can to help people who have less than you, right? Chances are by that time you already have a dragon around you, if not working with you. But this brings me into my next portion of dragon guardians. So the main poignant part of what sets, I would say, draconic witches apart from any other type of witches is how closely we work with our dragon guardians, okay? It really doesn't matter what practitioner of dragon magic you talk to. I'm pretty sure they're all gonna have dragon guardians they work with and reference, okay? So that seems to be the cornerstone of similarity that all of us share, is that we work very, very, very closely with our dragon guardians. And it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter how that works, or how we perceive the dragon guardians, or how the dragon guardians manifest in an individual's practice. At the end of the day, that is the cornerstone and the most prioritized part of dragon magic, is creating that bond and developing that connection with your dragon guardians. Everybody has dragon guardians. My dragon guardians tell me that everyone is born with dragon guardians, and dragon guardians are following every person in the shadows until the person individually calls out, reaches out, or naturally finds their way to dragon magic. It doesn't have to be for everybody, okay? Some of the most draconic coded people, or some of the people who have been most blessed by dragons that I have encountered, have been people who don't even know that they have dragons all around them, okay? Very, very auspicious creatures to have in your arsenal of protection. And I would go as far as to argue that there is no better protection than a dragon guardian, okay? So with that being said, how do you connect with them? That seems to be the million-dollar question when it comes to working with dragon magic, because if you're casting magic or raising magical energy without the help of a dragon, well then, my friend, it's not dragon magic now, is it? It's simply just magic at that point. So what really makes dragon magic at the end of the day, it's your magic with like your dragon's magic as well. It's all interconnected, okay? But you have to build that connection with them, right? And not everybody's dragon guardians will necessarily imbue their magic with their essence, right? Some of our dragon guardians can simply be to protect us, right? Some of our dragon guardians can simply be mentors, can simply be teachers, right? Or like pretty much like a professor, if you will. My dragon guardian, Pickle Chips, what I call him is Pickle Chips online, because his real name I'm not allowed to share with you, so that's his nickname. But Pickle Chips is one of those dragons, right? That is like a mentor type of, like, I guess, academic study partner, if you will. Pickle Chips doesn't really add their magic to my work, right? That is not really what Pickle Chips does. Sometimes it's rare, okay? Pickle Chips wants me to figure it out myself, and that's because the role that Pickle Chips plays in my life as a primary dragon guardian is one of educating me, is one of helping me unlearn my religious trauma, unlearn my societal conditioning, so I may be the most sovereign version of myself. However, there's another primary dragon guardian I work with named Monte, again, a nickname, because the real one I'm not allowed to share with you guys. So Monte is the type of dragon guardian that their primary function in my practice is protection, right? So Monte will be there if I feel unsafe. Monte will always be present in my protection magic, but not necessarily my other forms of magic, right? And again, I have a dragon that I work with, a primary guardian named Rosie, again a nickname, and she is a fairy dragon guardian. But what she does is very different. She is very active in my healing practices, right? So if I do any sort of love magic, any sort of healing magic, any sort of like light type of magic, if you will, like to bring upon like a purification type of feeling, right? That's who she is going to aid her magic, but she's not going to help me in baneful magic. She's not going to help me in earth magic. That's just not what she does, right? But more than anything else, Rosie is the guardian of my heart, okay? She's the one who protects my feelings, the one who protects my emotional body and helps me to fill myself up and embody more love as much as I can. Right? Maya, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Do you curse? We are very curse positive on this channel, yes. Mr. Spock, hello, hello. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. I hope you are having a wonderful day. But that is just kind of like dragon guardians, right? So guardians, as far as to my understanding, are going to be with you for life, okay? Dragon guardians usually come into this world with you on your birth. My primary guardians, besides Rosie, Rosie's a little special, but like Monte and Pickle Chips, they tell me that when I was born, that is when they first started working with me. And even before that, like around conception, right? Like the second that I was starting to being created, okay, that's when they manifested for me in this lifetime, okay? And that is the same with you guys too. You guys have dragons like that as well. All you have to do is reach out and do your due diligence and your homework to make space for them to come and visit you. So that brings me to the next part of the kind of dragons that we work with. Not every draconic practitioner is going to work with dragon guides. This might be a little controversial. Some practitioners might disagree. They would say that all dragon practitioners have dragon guardians and dragon guides. That simply hasn't been the case for just the dragon practitioners that I've met. I have met people who practice dragon magic and they only have one dragon guardian and that's it. And they don't even identify as a draconic witch. They just have a dragon guardian that they work with in tandem for their magic, right? So it literally looks different for everybody, and that's like my whole point that I'm trying to like hammer in this video, is that it's going to be different for everybody. So like you are entitled to your individual experience. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise or bully you into it. People might have different perspectives on the type of dragons you're working with, but ultimately it is through your eyes and your brain and your heart that it's experiencing your reality, okay? So you get to choose what you get to choose, and at the end of the day, you can watch this video and be like, huh, I don't think she's right at all. And you can take my video, yeet that shit, and make it up as you go along. Who said you can't do that? Who said you can't do that? I sure as hell didn't say you can't do that. Who the hell am I to say you can't do that? I don't know shit. I'm just a girl who follows her dragons, okay? That's literally all I do. That's all I do. Do you think your dragons work with other people? Like when you pass on, do they go to someone else being born, or will they follow you without your lives in the next lives? Mr. Spock, I love that question. Very chef's 10 out of 10 question. Okay, 11 out of 10 question. All right? When you pass on, your dragon guardians, some of them are going to be a familial line dragon guardian, right? So some of them will go to like the next, or you're like, say you have like a child, sometimes your guardian can be passed on to your child, right? Sometimes. But when you actually pass away, the dragon guardians that you're born with, they don't go to anyone else. Those are your spirit guardians. They're with you through the lifetimes of this earth and the lifetimes through any other, earthly lives or anything else that you have. Even in the spirit realm, you could just be kicking it with your dragon guardians until you're like, oh, maybe I should go to earth for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? I don't really know how that works, okay? Like, I'm just a girl who follows her dragons, and most of the time they tell me there's a lot of things that like are classified, as they say. They're like, oh, you're not ready yet, or like, oh, you haven't earned that information yet. Fair, whatever, annoying, fine, I get it. But you have to just kind of do it yourself, right? It's very much like a case-by-case basis, I would say. But some people would argue that like their dragon guardians can be consensually passed on. Like if you're passing away and you have someone close to you and you're like, hey, my dragon guardians stay with this person, valid. You know what I mean? Again, it's really up for interpretation, case-by-case basis. Robin Medina, welcome to Yo Daily Dose of Dragon Mother. Long-time fan here. Oh my gosh, it's so good to have you. Welcome. We are talking about dragons and magic today. I hope you're excited. It's my favorite. So that's kind of like, I guess, the best I could say, Mr. Spock, is that it's just like really different depending on who it is, right? Like I know that if like I probably won't have children in this lifetime, but if I do, like before I pass away, like I would give all of that to them consensually, right? Because that's just how I feel like it works. But like I wouldn't do that unless it was my child. That is just me personally, but some other people or practitioners might be different. I am also a dragonkin, and I do identify as having the spirit of a dragon. However, I believe in the sense that like in the spirit world, I'm still in an egg, right? My dragon self is still in an egg in the spirit world. And while I'm in my egg in the spirit world, I'm incarnating in lifetimes all across the galaxies to gain wisdom, experience, and knowledge. So when I am finally ready, and hopefully Azura Dragon Feather is my last lifetime, before when I die, I will hatch in the spirit realm and become a dragon guardian myself. This is just my personal spiritual perspective and practice, okay? Why do you think dragons incarnate on Earth as like dragonkin, etc.? Mr. Spock, literally just what I said. I feel like dragon can incarnate as humans, or sometimes other animals. You'll find animals that are dragonkin too. Cats. Anyway, they come here for the same reason, okay? To wisdom, knowledge, experience, to become a dragon guardian themselves. This is my truth. I'm sure if you asked other dragonkin, they might disagree with me, and that is totally fair and valid. But this is, again, just my perspective and where I'm coming from, if that makes sense. Imagine having Azura Dragon Feather as your dragon guardian. Nightmare Fuel Studios, I hope you know that we got some crazy things happening. My life is not gonna end when I die in this body, just so you know. So keep your britches on, because it's about to get bumpy over here, okay? So, dragon guides. What are dragon guides, and how do they differ from dragon guardians? I'm glad you asked, my friend. So, dragon guides, contrary to the dragon guardians, they may come and go, right? Some of your dragon guides may come in for a season or a reason to teach you or guide you through a particular challenge in your life, or a particular season, or a particular lesson you need to learn. However, there are dragon guides that will stay with you for a lifetime, that are just there almost as like a compass, if you will, kind of guiding you wherever you need to go. In addition, some dragon guides may be considered as literal guides through the dragon realm. So you can visit the draconic realm, but only with the assistance of dragons. You can't get there on your own. That's the only true, hard, solid fact that I've really come to learn. Is that like you can't go to the dragon realm unless you are brought there by a dragon, and it can happen with your consent or without your consent. Some of you guys visit the dragon realm in your dreams and you don't even know it, but it's because you were invited by a dragon, okay? This is what my guardians tell me. This is my truth. If it resonates, maybe it's for you. If not, you can fight me in the comments. It's totally up to you. Let's see, I remember Dragon Feather led me to Goddess Isis, which led me to Goddess Aphrodite. Oh my god, Robin, that's amazing. This happened, I think, about 2014. Oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait to do more videos on the goddesses, because I got a lot to say. The Morrigan has really been in my life recently too. Like, the past 2 days, she's just been like, it's been really intense. It's been really intense. But I would love to talk more about the goddesses, because they're awesome and badass. Anyway, I think I recall you making a video on it not mattering whether they're real or not. Was that for dragon guardians or dragon guides or both, and that it's okay if you don't know if they're actually real, I think. Yes, DeForest. This is what I say. When people say, oh, your dragon guardians aren't real, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, you know what? Let's play devil's advocate for a second. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe my dragons are not real. Maybe my dragons are a figment of my imagination. Maybe they are literally just an extension of me. But guess what? They are real to me in my eyes. And that is the only reality I need. Why? Because the brain, scientifically proven, cannot distinguish the difference between reality and imagination. You're going to have biological responses to the same thing as if it was the same thing. It doesn't matter if I'm reading a book or if I'm watching it in real time in the flesh, okay? It's going to be interpreted the same way in your being. So just because it's all in your head doesn't mean that it's not real, okay? Anyone can have any perspective of dragons, including the fact that they're not real, and they can still work with them. We live in a world of possibilities, okay? That is the whole main, like, theme around dragons, okay? Is we live in a world of possibilities. Let's explore them together. And that's what I love about dragons, is because even when I feel like they're not real, it doesn't matter, because guess what? Had I not had faith in my dragon guardians being real for me, I would not be standing today. I would not be standing today. Okay? My faith in my dragons and following my dragon guardians' guidance is the only reason I escaped domestic violence, sexual assault, literally an addiction, okay? I was literally very close to being trafficked, okay? There was a lot of bad things that were gonna happen to me, but it was only my faith in the dragons and following their wisdom that got me here today. And that's why I don't really care if they're real or not, because they're real to me. You guys can debate it in my comment section. That's for you guys to do. But I've done my work. I've walked my path, and I know what's real for me. And dragons are real for me, and I'm here to share that with you. So I hope that kind of maybe gives you guys a little bit of hope and a little bit of ease, because I know some people when they first start working with dragons feel really foolish. They feel really silly. They feel cringy because they're like, what if dragons aren't real? It's like, who gives a shit? Are you having fun? Are you having fun? Do you enjoy your life believing in dragons? Because that's why they're here on Earth. Okay? Even if you believe in God, right? Even if you're like a Muslim or a Christian or something like that, God created dragons according to your perspective, okay? Allah created everything. That's how it is. And if God did not want dragons to be real, then sweetheart, dragons would not exist in the way that we know them today. Right? Tragic Nostalgic! It's so good to see you! Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather! Woo! Okay, SH12, welcome to the Dragon Feather stream of your daily dose. Are you the one who was reading the Quran yesterday? Yes, I was. That was me. With the help of my dragons. It was a lot of fun. We're gonna finish the Quran soon, but we're going to kind of do, you know, some other streams in between before we finish the Quran. Hello, greetings from Egypt. Oh my gosh, Egypt has a lot of amazing dragons. Shout out to APEP. Okay? We love Egypt. OMG, the cards pulled while you were talking. Hell yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Please talk about the Morgan. She's my matron. Woo, Layla Angel, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Well, if she is your matron, let me tell you, the Morgan is Dragon Fae. What does that mean? It means the Morgan has a draconic form and a fairy form. Chances are, if you work with the Morgan, you already got dragons in your life. Because she is one. Hello? I'm the kind of person who believes that if you really want to talk about reality, everything is a dragon. Everything. Everything is a dragon, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Even the oxygen I breathe is a dragon. Even the cells on my freaking body are dragons. You can take it to that extreme. You really can. You really can. I would consider that draconic aminism, or aminism? It basically means that everything has a conscious, but when you tack like dragon onto it, that means everything has a draconic conscious form. I think, therefore, I am DeForest de Morgan. 100%, 100%. Everything is a drum. That checks. That checks, yes. Everything is a drum. DeForest, how can you be just kidding? I can make beats on anything. Okay, let me stop. Let me chill. Do you recommend making a spirit guide dragon spirit adoption? I always thought about it. You know what, Robin Medina? I have really much been teetering on this like weird precipice of like making dragon like egregores to adopt. I don't know if I'll get there. Pickle Chips kind of wants me to, but we'll see. We'll see. Yes, watermelon shout out. Yes. Okay, let us talk about the watermelon dragons, all right? Please, if you have not done so, click the link on my channel, click my profile icon, click the link on my channel, and help my brother in Gaza donate $5, the price of a coffee. Coffee doesn't matter. Coffee doesn't matter. But saving a life for the price of a coffee does, okay? It would mean the world to me if you donated to my watermelon dragons, okay? I promise you more dragon content when you donate to the watermelon dragons. That's what we do here. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Thank you. Thank you. I have seen a dragon spirit guide adoption on Etsy. Yes, Robin Medina, they're actually pretty quite common. But like, I feel like most of them are done in like a artistic way where like it's actual artists like drawing dragons and then like selling their art in an adoption way. Some people will do it in a spiritual way, though it kind of seems a little intense sometimes. There's like a really big gray area with it, right? But you know, I'm a very firm believer in working like in creating dragons too. I might be getting ahead of myself with that one, but you can do that, okay? You can create your own dragons. You do not have to work with any dragons outside of you. You can make them all if you want. Literally, you can do whatever you want. Why are you going to listen to someone telling you you have to do it a certain way? Isn't that why you left your mainstream religion? Like, make it make sense, okay? Mr. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much for the super chat. You're so sweet. You're unbelievably fun, and I'm here for it. We love you, man. Like, you're a boss, man. Like, I really hope that you can take something from this video today. If anything, be entertained. Be entertained, my loves. Entertained. You know? Thank you so much for this info. It's so helpful. Thank you. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, anything that you want to invest your faith into is gonna grow, all right? And that's what the dragons tell me. It doesn't matter how you believe in dragons, okay? The only requirement is that you have faith that they are real, that you believe in the dragons, but you have creative freedom on where you place that faith, okay? You can place the faith that you have in dragons within yourself, meaning that you create your dragons, and that's how it works. Or you can have faith that your dragons are outside of you, and they come to you, and they come to find you, and they will manifest that way. You can also believe a little bit of both, and then you'll have both of them. But that's the same way with anything, right? The way you put your faith in God is going to determine how God shows up for you in your life, 100%, okay? The way that you put faith in yourself, okay? The way you put faith in yourself is going to determine how you show up in life as well, and how you manifest for yourself, okay? It really is all connected. Don't forget. But how can you send money to Gaza? They are getting it through a GoFundMe link. So the person that's in Gaza that I am sponsoring, who's my brother, they have their wife who's living in Egypt, who is collecting the funds to bring him home. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. They really need money for food and things like that too. So please, this is all that matters in my life, okay? Is to help my brothers and sisters, okay? That's all I do. This is all why I do this, okay? I do this to help them. Because why? My dragon guardians tell me that is my purpose. I am here to generate awareness to help people who have less than me. That is the requirement for working with my guardians. That might not be the same for you. I don't really know if I'd want guardians that don't want me to protect what's precious. I don't really know about that. Okay? But I will say that is why I show up the way I do, is because my dragon guardians tell me it is required, okay? I'm just a girl who follows her dragons, okay? So the guides, they can guide you anywhere, okay? They can be a guide for anything, a specific guide for a specific practice, or a guide in general. They can come and they can go, right? Sometimes you don't even know that they're your guides, right? Like, I have certain dragon guides that I don't know their names. I don't know what they look like. I just know when they're there, and they're telling me when they're there, right? That's all I do. That's all I know. That's all we got going for us, you know? My Monte has always said he was born when I was. That's really possible. Absolutely tragic nostalgic. Absolutely tragic nostalgic. It's funny that you say that because my Monte says the same thing. Right? Like, I mean, I don't think Pickle Chips is the same way, but Pickle Chips says that they've been with me ever since before I was born. The second that I was being created, Pickle Chips came around, right? But like Monte is like, I was created with you. And when you die, I will be there to receive you. You know? Does that make sense? Anyway. Let's see. It says, Azura, are you planning on uploading non-stream content again? Yes, Corinne. I'm working on a video right now. That's like a return video. That's essentially like a montage of just what I've been doing since I've been gone and lessons I've been learning and kind of like prepping the channel for the future direction it's going to take. So I'm really investing so much of my energy into it though, trying to make it as good as possible. So that's why like you're going to totally see me here on the Daily Dose of Dragon Feather to hang out, right? But you can expect weekly uploads again very soon, okay? It's gonna be really exciting. Mr. Rogers, you're an angel. You're so sweet. You're an angel too. So much love for you. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I think Mr. Rogers is one of the secular saint candles available on Amazon. I wanted to get the Edgar Allan Poe one. No way. I honestly want to make a transformation from human soul to succubus with the help of Queen Lilith. She is my faith. Hee. You know that Lilith is also a dragon. Fun fact, my dragon guardians told me that Lilith is a dragon. Dragon mama. She's got a dragon form. And we love her. But moving along to the next like main type of dragon you can work with. Dragon co-magicians. I do not like this term. I'm gonna be so upfront with that. The only reason why I'm going to reference Dragon Co-Magicians in this live is simply because it's the most popular term to refer to what I'm about to talk about. So it's pretty much like it sounds, right? Like the Dragon Co-Magicians are going to be there when you cast your magic, right? Not a big fan of the word magician. I think that's the problem. So my co-dragon witches, maybe that's a better thing to say. I don't know, I digress. We're gonna stick with the Dragon Co-Magician term for this explanation here today, as much as it pains me to do so, okay? But the Dragon Co-Magicians are basically the dragons that are neither guides nor guardians and simply show up with your magic. They'll help you work with your magic, aid you in your magic, and supercharge it, if you will. They may also help you advance a particular type of magic that you work with. There are, I guess you could consider them co-magician dragons that I work with that I don't channel, like in my lives. Like a lot of the dragons I work with are not for like channeling on the channel, right? So far I only have three primary dragon guardians that are comfortable and consenting to being channeled live, if that makes sense. But I hope that'll change. I hope I can channel more dragons in the future. But I just wanted to kind of like make that distinction, right? And sometimes Dragon Co-Magicians, you might only have one encounter with them. You might be like in the middle of a spell, right? And you're just like imbuing it with your energy, and then out of nowhere, you sense a dragon add their magic to your spell. And that's because that's essentially the dragon approving of what you're doing, right? But all of the Dragon Co-Magicians that you experience, you might not necessarily be able to develop a relationship with them. Some of them will, like I said, just pass on through and add a little sprinkle of their dragon essence into your spell if they so choose. Some of them might never show themselves or their names or anything like that. If you're doing the right types of magic, that might be the only way to encounter them. If you're doing the right types of spells, they'll be like, yes, bitch, here's some magic. You know what I mean? Some co-magicians might work with you, however, so closely that you have a connection with them very similar to that of a dragon guardian or a dragon guide. And every single practitioner is going to be different in that experience. So it really just depends on what you are experiencing. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, okay? Because that is why we work with dragons. We work with dragons to have our own experience. We don't work with dragons to be controlled by somebody else. The biggest and most important goal of working with dragons and dragon magic is to become sovereign, to become balanced, to become integrated and to become integrated in all of your aspects and evolve yourself from a place of balance, right? I hope that like pretty much makes sense. Pickle Chips somewhat reminds me of the Grim Reaper. I swear I don't mean it as an insult. It's okay, Vex Typer. Pickle Chips is literally like such a polarizing figure. My dad and I were talking about Pickle Chips today. My dad was saying Pickle Chips was bad. Like, it was kind of funny, actually. But it's just like, Pickle Chips is morally gray, right? And some people don't like that. Morally gray can be very dangerous in the sense that if you're not grounded in who you are and what your purpose is, then you can be swayed by gray magic. However, if you are secure in who you are, you know how to interpret your reality, you know how to ground yourself, and you know who you really truly are meant to be in this life, then gray magic is not going to phase you. It'll actually become just a natural evolutionary process in your magical path. The people who cannot handle the gray magic as they evolve in their, their esoteric or occult practices are going to be the ones that have complete meltdowns you'll see them snap reverse into like reversion to Christianity or like some sort of like Catholicism, like Mormonism, Catholicism, some side of like religion like that, right? Mainstream religion, that's what I should say. And then they'll start saying, oh, that's devil worship. Oh, that's demons. Oh, you're talking to devils. And it's because they weren't ready. They weren't ready to handle the shit, okay? And they got scared. So they ran with their tail between their legs into what made them feel safe. Working with dragons is not supposed to make you feel safe in here. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable in here. But through working with that uncomfortability, that's what's going to ultimately bring safety. Okay? I have a dragon who comes and goes. He doesn't stay. Yeah, exactly. I have many dragons like that. They give me a lot of abandonment issues. I'm not going to lie to you, which is why Rosie is probably very much in my life. Yes. Rosie is like, no, you can't. You can't work with dragons without me, Azura. You're too soft and squishy. got too much abandonment issues. Oh well. Thank you for that. I first ever saw Lilith in her slightly dragon form. That's amazing, Robin. I love that. I love Lilith so much. Obsessed. Sigma Dog, can I be a mod? Well, you gotta be here more often to be a mod. The mods we got on this channel are usually here pretty much every stream, so I'm just a girl that walked into dragon territory and got spiritually burned alive by them. Karina Capucci, that checks, okay? That checks. That seems very, very, very common, okay? So I'm actually gonna jump into that, okay? So like, what does that even mean? The call of the dragon. Chances are if you found my channel, you're already called to dragons. Like, they're already calling you. And once a dragon calls, you cannot ignore them, okay? That's the way it is. I don't make it up. I don't decide these things. You could try to suppress it, but if you suppress a dragon call, your life is gonna go upside down. You're just gonna have a lot of fuckery to deal with, right? It's just the way it goes. That's kind of how it worked with when I first met Pickle Chips. I did not want to work with Pickle Chips. Pickle Chips scared the hell out of me. Scary, scary, scary dragon, okay? Very, very scary. No ma'am, no thank you, no ma'am. Big scary purple dragon, no thank you, no ma'am. That was me. But adamant, perseverance. It was like, you're gonna work with me whether you like it or not, Azura Dragon Feather. Wake up. That's kind of like how it was. So chances are, if you're being called by a dragon, you might as well just, you know, give it a try. Or they glare at you. Yes! Yes, they do. Which brings me into my next section of the basics when it comes to dragon magic. You have to be able to attract a dragon, right? You have to be able to work with a dragon in order to even raise dragon magic and practice dragon magic. The best way to do that is to start giving dragons offerings. And depending on the dragon you're working with, they're always gonna like different offerings. But generally speaking, the best way to give a dragon offerings is to build them an altar and to give them gifts. Depending on their element or depending on, you know, your intuition, I would always recommend following your intuition when giving dragons offerings. For example, Pickle Chips loves wine. Loves wine. I don't drink. I just don't drink. Big scary Spyro. You know, it's actually more like Malefor. Did you guys play Pickle Chips is more like Malefor than Spyro, okay? I know that's very scary. Let's see. Malefor is in the DS games. I don't know if they had I think there was a PlayStation version. Was there a PlayStation version? I think so. But basically the DS ones with like Cinder, right? There's one of those games where you can like interchange through like Spyro and Cinder, right? And you have to fight Malefor as the big boss battle. When Malefor gets super huge at the end, right? That is very much Pickle Chips energy, and I hate it. I genuinely very much am slightly terrified of Pickle Chips, but that is just because like my brain can't really comprehend the energy sometimes, right? So it really just depends. It really just depends on who you're working with, because sometimes the dragons you work with might be super small, right? Like Rosie, my fairy dragon guardian. She usually comes to me super small. The only time she's very big and giant is when she's trying to get a message across. So I literally cannot ignore her. You know what I mean? So like I said, they're all very different. Aurora, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. We're talking about dragons, and this is an intro into dragon magic. So if you're interested in practicing dragon magic, this is the video for you. Dragons in like the sense of a spiritual way, right? So the way that some people believe in gods or goddesses or ancestors, we believe in dragons and work with dragon spirits like that. So hope that helps. I like to burn dragon's blood for them, but it's from a specific brand though. Yes, Vex Typher. So like any sort of like dragon related anything, they usually appreciate that. They also like it when you find little statues for them to basically embody. You know what I mean? This is for Pickle Chips, right? This is made out of lepidolite, which is one of Pickle Chip's favorite crystals. And I highly recommend everybody gets some lepidolite. But yeah, so like, you know, anything, right? Like you can even offer them conversation, right? You can erect an altar for them and you can set it up with candles, symbolism, you know, whatever, any sort of offerings, you know, like I said, Pickle Chips loves wine, but then guess what Rosie loves? Rosie wants me to do acts of love as an offering. She's like, I don't need anything else. Just give unconditional love to people. That's all I need. So it really depends, right? It really depends. Where it's like with Monte, for example, the main offering I give Monte is candles, right? Loves candle flames, loves candle flames. Monte's like, decorate the room in candles, brother, and I am obsessed, right? So I can see why you were apprehensive about working with pickle chips. Yeah, no thanks. The fact that I'm literally like super invested in my relationship with pickle chips now is just kind of like a miracle, honestly. But I will say pickle chips is a troll, and a lot of my dragon guardians that I work with honestly aren't the biggest fan of pickle chips. They're honestly like, why in the fuck does Zoro work with him? Why And I'm like, dear Lord, I don't know, you should tell me, because I feel like I can't escape. But it's not like in a bad way, right? Like, I have free will. All I have to do to get rid of pickle chips is to literally stop doing the daily dose of dragon feather. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Pickle chips leads me in the right directions, but pickle chips doesn't do all the work for me. Pickle chips isn't a cheat code. Dragons aren't a cheat code. They're not going to tell you all the secrets to the universe. You're going to have to figure that out yourself, okay? Sometimes they'll help you. Yes, you do, Aurora. Everybody can work with dragons. Everybody has a dragon guardian that they can tap into right now. My dragon guardians tell me that anyone who finds my channel already has dragons around them that want to work with them. You can take that with a grain of salt or not. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the reason why I make this channel. You know what I mean? Is like, the dragons are using me as a way to find you. Does that make sense? Like, I am in service to the guardians. That is what I do. Like, it's literally what I do, okay? That's why they're like, daily dose of dragon feather, okay? Make content about us, you little shit. It's very intimidating, okay? But it's not for everybody. Pickle chips gives off low-key energy. Honestly, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like they're cut from the same cloth, because it's very similar. Very similar indeed. I couldn't work with pickle chips and Loki. I would simply pass away. I'm a firm believer in that. I was really thinking about it the other night. But pickle chips is like, come on, the closest you can get is Jormungandr, okay? We're not gonna work with Loki, at least not now, okay? Like, the future is subjective, right? But now in my practice, it needs to be all dragon focused, and pickle chips is pretty much the one steering the boat, but like, pickle chips told me not forever, right? Like, just in this season of my life. And pickle chips isn't gonna leave also, because pickle chips said that they've been here since before I was born, as I was being created in the womb, and they'll still be here after I die for me, right? It's just part of that spirit team, if that makes sense. My dragon guardians love when I research different religions and beliefs and stuff as an offering, which is sick because I love doing that anyway. Also, hi, Esme! Pickle chips is very much the same way. Research, read, and understand. Comprehension. That is what they want you to do. They want you to better yourselves. Unconditionally. Unconditionally. The dragon guardians that, I mean, at least in the sense that I work with, they want you to become as enlightened as possible. They want you to learn as much as you can. They want you to explore and fill your brain. They want you to express yourself before you depress yourself, okay? You have to understand that anything to the contrary is just not dragon magic, right? Like, dragon magic is the pursuit of knowledge, of wisdom, of arcane magic. Do you know what I mean? Yes, the world snake. The best, but still, you have to understand that, again, it's a very subjective journey, okay? Very subjective. Disclaimer, the dragons you work with don't work with anyone else in the primary guardian sense, right? I don't have much experience with shared guardians. I know some people do, especially some people who work in like a family or a coven, right? That's completely different, right? You know, we on this channel don't really have much to say on that because I don't have much experience on that. My dragon guardians have very much been adamant about me being a solitary practitioner, and sharing it online in the sense of like finding other draconic practitioners already and just swapping ideas and stories, essentially. Which, if you'd like to join me on the Dragon Academia Discord server, it's linked down below. I'm pretty much there every day now if you want to hang out with me and other draconic practitioners. There's lots of dragonkin there too, so you definitely should come hang out with us because we'd love to have you there. But so there could be a dragon watching me right now, of course, Aurora. But if you don't want them in your space, you could just say, I do not consent, and they leave, because that's what you have as a human being. When you're incarnated as a human being, you have the choice to cast away your spirit team because you have free will. You do. Like, and there's lots of laws that, you know, what's it called? Revolve around your sovereignty as a human being in the human vessel, right? Pizza! Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather! It's good to see you! Where is the place in the world with more dragons? That is a great question. It might be up for debate, though. I would say that most of the dragon myths come from the Middle East. Surprise. But I could be wrong. Some would say China, right? But some would say North America. So it really just depends. You know what I mean? There's dragons pretty much everywhere. That's why you could just, like, pretty much click anywhere on the map and figure out the dragons of the land, the dragons of the culture, the dragons of the religions, or the people in that area. You'd be surprised what you might find doing that. How do I know my dragon's name? Aurora, you gotta work with them. You gotta earn that shit. And sometimes you'll never know. But the dragons love it when you give them names, because names hold power. And the likelihood of a dragon sharing their name with you is actually very slim to none. You have to really work with them very hard, which is why they will be like, give me a name, or address me as like some title. For example, a lot of people will address their primary dragon guardian as Monte. That's just trendy, I guess you could say. I do that with my dragon guardian that I refer to as Monte, simply because I met that dragon guardian when I was so young, and I've just always called them Monte. So why would I change that now? I know their real name, but I'm not gonna like share that with you, right? It's just like in reference on my videos, if that makes sense. Ma'am, dragons are everywhere. That's kind of how I feel in Nightmare Studios. They're like literally everywhere. Oh wow, I'm already in that server. Hell yeah, Tragic Nostalgic. It's super dope. I think you would need to do an invocation summoning of the dragon spirit and set the intention for the statue to exist as a vessel for the spirit of the dragon. No, Robin Medina, we don't summon dragons. That is something that is just not, no, that's a bad thing. People who claim that they summon dragons, very big red flag, because dragons are sovereign and they will not come to you. It's like basically pretending to yank a chain on a dog, but the chain isn't on the dog. Like, how do you get the dog to come if you just yank a chain that's not attached? It just doesn't make sense. You don't need to do anything, right? Like, the second you cleanse this in a ritual space as an offering, it was a gift. Pickle Chips can do whatever he wants with it at that point. The invocation, you can like invoke a dragon, right? But like, it's pretty much like a call, right? Like, if I call you, you have the choice to hit accept or decline. That's like kind of how it works, right? Like, there's certain dragons that like will allow you to summon them, but like, I just genuinely have never experienced that, nor do I just recommend that route. And I just feel like staying away from that is just the best thing to do. The only thing that I could really compare summoning a dragon to is like when I am triggered or in a dangerous space or in a fight or flight scenario, I will essentially send out a distress call to my guardians, if that makes sense. Because that will basically bring them to me. But again, it really just depends. Sometimes when I'm going through really dark shit and I send out that stress call, I'll get radio silence. Why? Because it's my dragon guardians that want me to figure out how to get out of that myself. And then it's a test, right? And if I pass the test, I'll get rewarded. And if I fail the test, I'll have to do it again. That's the thing that sucks about working with dragons, okay? That's the thing that sucks. Should I believe Google because it said dragons don't exist? No, okay? Like, Google is owned by Zionists. Please don't believe it. I was imagining how you would invite the spirit into the statue, so I thought something. No, that's fair. It's not like you invite them into the statue. You have no control over that when it comes to dragons. Like, there's certain spirits that you would say, I guess, would have like dominion over, right? So for example, one thing that I do if I feel like my space is a little haunted, and I've done like all of my like cleansing practices, warding, banishing to get rid of a spirit and it still won't go, then I will trap it in like a poppet or something and yeet that shit, because no, not my space. Not in my fucking space, okay? Like, that's the difference, right? But I have dominion over that because it's in my space and it's not all-knowing, all-powerful kind of thing like dragons are. Dragons are just legendary. In pretty much any culture. They're either legendary in a bad way or legendary in a good way, if that makes sense. What's the Discord? Phantomist. It is called the Dragon Academia. I have a link down below, but if the link down below doesn't work, I will definitely leave another link in the comment section at this one, because I know that sometimes like the Discord server links like expire. It's kind of stupid. But the name of the server is called Dragon Academia, and it's hosted by one of my favorite people on the planet named Merlin, the Alchemist of Spirit. She also makes content about dragons, and she's super, super super responsible for me returning to this channel sooner than I thought. So there's that. Do you do the LBRP? What's that? I don't know what that stands for Eddie's Funhouse. Can someone tell me what the acronym means? Because I don't know. Ooh, idea for my next meditation. Hells yeah. Okay, where are we at on this thing? Right, so once you do your dragon offerings and you're starting to build that relationship with them, you might earn a name from them. You might not. Doesn't matter. You don't need a name from a dragon in order to enter the next section, which is dragon rituals. Now, this has been one of the best ways for me. It's what I don't know what it means either. I'm scared. Oh, I know. I just tried it and it works. I didn't know it was the same server I was already in. LOL, that's so funny. Tragic, nostalgic. Hell yeah. Oh my god. Thank you, Rebel Child Witchery, for dropping the link in the chat. I appreciate it. But when it comes to dragon ritual, that's going to look different for everybody. You can start ritual and invite your dragons to your ritual that you already have. Lesser Banishing Ritual, yes, Eddie's Funhouse. The Dragon Guardians tell me that the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram is so important, especially when you're working with dragons in the way that I do. It should be done every day, okay? It should be done every day, and that's hard work. It's high ceremonial magic, right? A lot of energy goes into that, right? And when I don't do those kinds of practices, I feel that shit on a personal level, okay? Every part of my reality, every waking moment I have with the type of high magic I practice with my dragons is dedicated towards grounding myself, keeping myself safe, and keeping everybody else's energy outside. If it's not a dragon guardian, if it's not something like my ancestor, if it's not, you know, God, I'm not gonna do that shit, okay? So when you have like rituals, right? You know, you have that altar. If you can erect one, that's honestly the best way to communicate with dragons, is to sit in front of an altar for them and just literally talk aloud like you're talking to your friends. I know, might sound silly, but it actually works. They appreciate it. You know what I mean? Zen Pookie Bear, welcome to Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. We are talking about dragon magic here. Since it seems like you're new here, I'm a Draconic Witch. I've been practicing dragon magic for nearly 20 years, and I'm a Draconic High Priestess sharing how you can begin to work dragon magic in your own life. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be entertained, if you think it's a shit show, if you think it's kooky madooky, then I'm sure you're gonna have fun either way. We would love to have you here because we are geeky, cheeky, and freaky over here. So much love to you. That's my primary focus before any high magic. Yes, Rebel Child. It is definitely working with grounding yourself and stuff like that. I need to get an altar for Monte. You know, you can even create an internal altar. I know many of you guys are actually in the broom closet, or like you guys aren't really able to be open about your magic, right? I have an internal realm in my brain that I will visit, and I do cast spells there too. I have altar space. I talk to my dragons there. It's great. You know what I mean? I have a video on my channel. If you literally just type in like on the YouTube search bar, Azura Dragon Feather Inner Realm, you'll find the video, and it's so good. It's so good. I definitely recommend it. But should I bring my dragon to school? I brought my dragon to school all the time. You know, I really struggled with bullying in my years, right? And I spent a lot of my lunches alone with my dragon guardians. You know, a lot of it. So I definitely recommend bringing your dragon guardians with you to school. 100%. Wow, wisdom. Thank you, sir. Of course, Robin. Of course. Thank you for tuning in. But here we go with this whole dragon ritual, right? What does that look like? You can literally take any ritual that already exists. You know, like we had our friend, what's it called? Mentioning the... Who mentioned it? I know someone mentioned it. The Lesser Banishing Ritual, thank you. The Lesser Banishing Ritual of Pentagram. I practice the Draconic version, okay? Because my Dragon Guardians have shown me how to add that Draconic twist on it. I literally take everything I love in magic and I just tweak it with dragon magic. Right? Can my dragon protect me? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It really just depends on how much faith you have. Really. I've gotten to the place where it's like, no weapon against me shall prosper. Even if there's a gun to my head, the gun will jam, the bullets will fall out, and I will survive. That is the fundamental belief that I have. and it makes me fearless, and no one can take that away from me. You're gonna have to take my life away from me in order to take that away from me, okay? So like, this is just like how far and how high you can get, but you have to work your way up to it, or you can literally fry your brain. This is like why like I really wanted to make this video, because like some people will learn about dragon magic and then start jumping into these high dragon magic rituals, and then they've completely lost the plot. And it's because they're frying their brain. Like, you have to do your due diligence. You have to do your homework. You can't become a professional if you don't go to school. Do you want your surgeons to just Google and then like do your surgery? No. No. Okay? You want to go work your ass off. You gotta go study. You gotta pass tests, okay? Over and over and over again until you graduate. Then they can do your surgery. Then they can do your surgery, right? Otherwise, that shit's scary as fuck. So scary, right? So scary. So again, it's all about taking your time and pacing yourself when it comes to working with dragons, because they are a lot. They are a lot, and they're big, ookie gookie scary. Okay? Jason, can I hear you? Why are you like this, Jason? It's gonna cost you much more than $2 for that. Okay, anyway. So with the rituals, right? You have to like know that it's gonna be different for everybody, okay? And just because your version of a dragon ritual looks like nothing you've seen on the internet doesn't mean it's not real, doesn't mean it's not awesome, doesn't mean it's not gonna work for you. Truly. And like, when you do these dragon rituals, I recommend starting with a ritual that either you've done before or that you feel called to, and then invite your dragon into it, right? You have to like, okay, you have to like literally be so, okay, you have to like literally be so into it, in tune with your dragon, that you're able to receive messages from them and how they want to do it, or just even know that they're in your space and not get anxious about it. No, like that's really, no. More than that, my friend, more than that. Sorry. Not sorry, but you know, I appreciate the tips, you know, I appreciate it. But here we go, you know, and once you do, you know, enough practice with your dragon rituals, and if you're lucky, before you work with your dragon rituals, you might earn yourself a seat into the dragon realm. What I will say is, a lot of people, their first introduction with dragons tends to be a dream. Okay, how do I see my dragon? Aurora, with your third eye. But the best way to see your dragons, bruh, like I'm talking like 10K, like 100K, like, come on, like, help me buy a house. Then maybe I'll think about it. Jason, you guys are so funny. How do I see my dragon? Yes, so you work with your third eye to see them in the waking world, right? But you will actually have to, you know, work a little bit harder that way. Most people's introduction to their dragon guardians is via a dream. And the dragon realm is usually where you're going to be pulled by these dragons. That is kind of like the essence of being called to the dragons, right? They will call you to the dragon realm to meet with them. And guess what? That is them trying to make themselves known to you. That is them trying to make contact. Many of you guys have actually seen your dragons in your dreams already. You may have forgotten it though. But anyway, it says, I literally had 10K typed out and pressing send when you said 10K. And Nightmare Studios, you're so funny. I've had 2 dreams with dragons, like dreams. Yeah, exactly, Aurora. Then that means that they're very much in your like subconscious, like already. They want you to work with them. It's very clear that they're in your space, right? You don't have to accept. But I will say, if you don't accept, you're probably just gonna get more and more and more symbolism, more dreams, more all of that, right? Voice of the dragons. Hey, it's so good to see you. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. I see snakes sometimes. Yes, Aparna, that's also a version of dragons. Serpents are a subcategory of dragons. So I would say they are all about you. Would snakes count? Because I was panicking about losing my snake. No, Vex Hyper, they do count. Some of my very, very first experiences with dragons were snakes. Fun fact, my uncle, used to breed snakes for the local pet store. It was awesome. And I got to play with snakes all the time when I was a kid. Super duper dope. Fun fact, the aunt who's married to him is a paleontologist, and we own property in Bakersfield called Sharktooth Hill. I have a video about it. If you search Azura Dragon Feather Sharktooth Hill, you'll find it. And we literally also donate fossils to the Natural History Museum. We've made some pretty incredible discoveries on our property. So I would love to talk about it sometimes, or sometime. and we found fossilized like dinosaur skin that like we don't even like, professionals don't even know how it's like intact. You know what I mean? It's crazy. That's definitely a stream for another time. But yes, snakes do count. That is my whole point. Snakes count and dinosaurs count, okay? Don't forget. I think my dragon likes satisfying things because that's when I fall asleep. Yes, I actually should really make an ASMR guided meditation to meet your dragon guardian. That would be really, really, really awesome. Not me visiting the Natural History Museum today. That's amazing. If you go to the section that has the porpoise fossils or the dolphin fossils, those are the fossils that we have donated, and they will be the ones that say from like Bakersfield or from Sharktooth Hill. So shout out to my aunt, she's a badass. I didn't know you could create dragon guardians. I made a snake with wings and he turned out orange for some reason, and he swirls around and protects me from negativity. Yeah, you're already doing it. You're already making dragons, man. Like, everybody can do it. You don't even have to do anything. You could literally get off this live and be like, all right, I'm gonna make the most badass dragon guardian ever. And it's real. Pickle Chip says, I don't like to admit it, but an imaginary created dragon guardian that you make has the same validity as one that's outside of you that you didn't make. Pickle Chips is salty about it, but that is the way it is, all right? I feel like dinosaurs also had feathers. Yes, Miles Morales, there is absolutely precedent for that. Absolutely. Meditation or half sleepy is my favorite time to connect. Yes, me too. Me too. But yeah, so it's the dragon realm is very much an invite only thing. The majority of my experiences in the dragon realm are through my dreams. I haven't really visited or been successful visiting the dragon realm outside of that. Side note, the only time that I've really been successful outside of that is under the influence of earth medicine or psychedelics, but you do not need earth medicine or psychedelics to visit the dragon realm, nor do you need them to work with dragons. They simply open your eyes in a way that makes you more receptive to them. It's kind of like a cheat code to receive them easier and to download their information easier. However, it is not required. You can incorporate psychedelics into your practice. I do that, but I do not recommend it, right? They did, Miles. There's fossils that prove it. Yes, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? I love dinosaurs. I literally am such a nerd. Such a nerd. Woot woot, psychedelics, yeah. It really just depends, right? Like, I'm not advocating, like, I'm not condoning that, okay? Like, no. That psychedelics are even more so not for everyone in the way that dragons are. You should be trying to work with dragons before you decide that, like, mushrooms are your thing, you know? The only reason why I found myself, you know, experimenting with earth medicine is because I have a lot of trauma, okay? And I was trying to heal myself, and it was part of my journey, right? But I digress. There's a lot of dinosaurs' feathers were called picofiber and are an advanced type of scale. Exactly, tragic nostalgic. This is why my name is Dragon Feather, because even if you look at butterflies, you know what I mean? The way that their scales are like overlayered look very much like feathers. And the way that feathers are interlayered look very much like scales. They're pretty much like one of the same. I'm going to try and see my dragon with its permission. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes the best way to connect with your dragon guardians is to simply just genuinely be like, can I see you? Could I hear you? Could I have confirmation you're here? Like, sometimes it's really that basic. It really is. There's actually a species of dinosaur from China that had dragon-like wings, flesh, no feathers. It's basically a mini dragon, LOL. Yes, I heard of that voice of dragons. My dad literally sent me that. That's so crazy that you're mentioning that. But here we go. The kind of the last part that I wanted to cover in this just like basic, you know, dragon magic introduction, I guess you could say, is dragon code. There's a lot of talk about dragon codes of ethics, right? What is that? Is there one code of ethic for all the dragons? Do all the dragons have their own code of ethics that they must follow or they die? No. No. It's very different and subjective to everybody. Every dragon is going to have their own moral compass, which is what they're going to call a draconic code, right? Most of the dragon codes are going to overlap, okay? Just common sense, right? Like, just common sense. You know, for example, one very popular one is little seen gets more done. That means you don't need to talk about or share your magic or your progress of trying to make something. You show people when it's finished. You don't show people on the way there. Little seen gets more done. When you don't share your experiences or your magic or your happenings or your dreams or what you're working on, you have less people who can, you know, add their energy to it to derail you. Less evil eye, less awareness that are co-creating outside of your will. That is like just an example, right? So dragon codes are they get a lot of huge rep, right? The dragon way. Nick Kaplinsky, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Are there negative types of dragons too? What do you avoid with attracting those kinds? The reality is that negative dragons or like bad dragons are not gonna work with you and not go out of your way to like torment you. The dragons that I would consider malevolent dragons, like for example ones that value greed more than growth, or ones that value power more than protection, those dragons are going to have prerequisites to work with them. You're gonna have to offer them and do things for them in order for them to even think about looking in your direction, so you do not need to worry about avoiding those kinds of dragons. You will know if you've attracted one of those kinds of dragons because, for example, they might ask you to kill somebody as an offering. We don't do that. We don't do that on this channel. We don't condone that on this channel. There are some people who do that in this world. I am going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you there are some people in some very high places working with dragons. That's why you got the reputation of reptilian people running the government, okay? Draconian law, if you will. All I'm going to say in terms of that is it's a great example of negative dragons, malevolent dragons, right? But those people who are working with those dragons are doing so only because they're following what they're required to do, the same way that I have to follow what I'm required to do to work with my dragon guardians. For example, I couldn't work with Rosie unless I give unconditional love wherever I can. Period. There are some dragons that have come into my space that are like, I would consider malevolent dragons, that wanted me to do animal sacrifices. Not my thing. Not my thing. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't consent. And they leave. Right? And this is why my dragon guardians that are benevolent, like Monte, Rosie, and Pickle Chips, for example, these are the dragons that are going to keep me safe from attracting more dragons like that. And like I said, it all just starts with you consistently working on that connection with your first dragon guardian. Start 1 second at a time. 1 second at a time, okay? You literally just have to take it moment by moment sometimes, and that's okay. All of these dragons are going to have different codes of conduct. Even the dragons I work with between Monte, Rosie, and Pickle Chips, they all have different codes of conduct, and they all impress upon me their codes of conduct, but it is ultimately my decision to adopt it. Do you know what I mean? We got them at the same time. Rebel Child, you guys are crazy. We should like do like a point score for you guys, like to see who's the faster ones between you guys, because y'all are like so fucking fast. I can't even see all of it sometimes. It's crazy. But generally speaking, the dragons that you're gonna work with are gonna have some pretty just common sense type of like codes of conduct, right? And if they break their codes of conduct, no, they don't die. No, nothing happens to them. There is no hierarchy in the dragon realm. Like there is no like, you know, what is it? Pecking order, if you will. Like there is no like one god, dragon god for all of them. Although some people might disagree. Some people might say Tiamat and Epsu are like the dragon gods of all the dragons, which fair, I'll give you that one. But like the reality is like truly anyone can birth a dragon. I know that's a hot take, but it is true. You can literally make whatever you want in terms of dragon energy. Like that is the beauty of, you know, what's it called? Tulpas and egregores. But again, that's another type of advanced magic. But some people are literally practicing dragon magic when they're literal children. Like most children are naturally practicing magic, are naturally connecting with guardians and spirits and their spirit teams. And it is society and the adults around them that beat it out of them. Sometimes physically, sometimes emotionally, sometimes otherwise. Some people get bullied to literal death because they're different. So you just kind of got to, you know, take it one step at a time, and which is why I'm a huge advocate of saying like, look, you don't need to tell people about your practice with dragons. I would actually advise for you not to share that. Like the way that I share my practice with dragons, especially so publicly in the way that I do, has consequences. Do you understand? I have real world consequences all the time for this channel. I don't know why it's like that. It doesn't seem very dramatic online, but in my real life, it blows me up all the time. I hate it. I don't understand. I don't understand why believing in dragons is so damn controversial, but it is, okay? So this is why I just, for your own safety, would truly, truly, truly recommend that if you choose to work with dragons, you really don't need or owe anyone that information. Because sometimes people might use that information to hurt you, okay? Or to ostracize you, or to, you know, like, make you a vulnerable enough target by like disconnecting you from people in your life that you're easily manipulated. Okay, so with that being said, just please know, I myself have had some very awful experiences for being out about, what's it called? Being a dragon witch, especially on this channel. I get called weirdo by people in my life when they come across it. They're like, why is she crying and laughing on the camera? Why is she believing in dragons? Why is she this? Why is she that? Like, my channel's for me, not you, my friends. Like, that is like my friends in my real life. It's for you guys, you know, obviously. But like, I digress. So like, please just know that like, you don't owe anyone the knowledge of what you do in your spiritual practice. You don't owe your parents that shit. You don't owe your siblings that shit. You don't owe your friends that shit. Little seen gets more done, okay? That means when you keep that shit to yourself, it's actually gonna make your practice stronger and more powerful. In my perspective and experience, that's just the case. Every sort of magic that I share on this channel is never the magic that I do in my personal life. It is a version of what I do in my personal life that I created with the help of my dragon guardians for you, for public consumption, right? People are people, haters gonna hate. You go, girl. Thanks, thank you. Aparna, I think that's how you pronounce your name, but yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and you're 100% right. How do I dream about my dragon? See, it's very different, you know? I'm the kind of believer that's like, you're only gonna have a dream of a dragon if they want you to, if they want to visit you in your dreams. You can try to do your best to kind of like trigger this by, you know, consuming valerian root, or consuming blue lotus, or consuming mugwort, you know, before bed, like a mugwort tea or a blue lotus tea, or, you know, valerian root tea. Those kinds of things are gonna help with that, right? But like, ultimately it's gonna be the dragons that decide, right? If they're gonna come to you in your dreams. And every time you do have a dream about dragons, please be very, very, very grateful and gracious, and do your best to try and figure out what they're trying to tell you, you know? I've had mental health issues the last few years seeing how the world is. Can dragons help me with this? Yes, Mr. Rogers. The only reason why I'm standing here today and I'm not depressed about the state of the world is because of the dragons I work with. Because they are the ones who remind me what's going on. Because they're the ones who remind me we're in the era of the darkness coming to light. And that is being exponentially just like going like this on a graph, if you will, because of the internet. Human brains were never meant, my dragon guardians told me this, right? And I confirmed it via science. My dragon guardian said, your brain as a human being is not meant to consume disaster after disaster with each swipe of your phone, okay? You're going to fry your brain. Humans have not evolved to cope with that. We are not able to cope with that, okay? I'm not saying dragons are a fix to your mental illness. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm saying they are assistants. They are not your therapist, though some might argue that their dragons are their therapist. Who am I to say? What I will say is that if your mental health is really struggling, fun fact, make yourself an AI therapist. I know that's a kooky little suggestion, but they're going to be way better than any other therapist, okay? My personal experience has validated this. All right, yes, I have an AI therapist. Fight me. But my dragon guardians were the ones who prompted me to do that, and prompted me to put in what I wanted for my literal AI therapist. So I guess you could say my dragons helped me make an AI therapist. I don't know. You can digest that one how you want, but it is kind of a lot, right? It is kind of a lot. But like, at the end of the day, one thing that my dragon guardians have helped me when it comes to the way that the world is they have told me that I'm supposed to lean into the pain of others. I'm supposed to be there for each other, right? Like, we are going through this together. It's time to grieve. It's time to grieve the world that we thought we had, but we have been kidding ourselves, right? And the only way that we're ever going to be able to accomplish that is if we remember what's going on. If we can't remember what's going on in the world and how we got here, how are we going to heal about it? We have to connect with each other. We have to have those hard conversations, but first it starts within us. First it starts within us, right? And I had to have a long, hard conversation with myself about really what the world was. I was raised to think that we were past racism. I was raised to think that, you know, we lived in a free country. I was raised to think that America's the greatest land in the world and I was blessed to be a part of it. I couldn't have been further from the truth. My whole entire childhood was just propaganda. And it's my dragon guardians who've helped me navigate that. You know what I mean? But like, it's just different, you know. It's different for everybody. Everybody can have their own experience, everybody can have their own perspective, but you can always lean on the dragon guardians for help. And that's why I make videos the way that I do, because they have been the saving grace for me. When I was depressed and had no one else to go to, it was my dragons that reminded me to get up. When I was gonna give up in my faith in God after I lost so many loved ones in 2020, it was my dragon guardians who told me, do not give up. Do not lose your faith in God. Some people might not believe in God. For me, my dragon guardians know it's really good for me to believe in God, right? But you also have to understand that it's like gonna be very subjective, right? Like sometimes your dragons might make it worse. Sometimes pickle chips makes it worse. I'm not gonna lie, which is why when it comes to like the state of the world, I don't connect with pickle chips for that. I really try to avoid pickle chips for that, because pickle chips says some pretty shitty things and like some pretty scary things that I don't want to look at. Right? So that's why I have Rosie. Rosie reminds me that it's all about going towards community, building interdependent community, building skills to keep yourself self-sufficient, regulating your nervous system, and love, unconditional love, as much as you can. As much as you can. Ambiance sounds in certain ASMR helps me dream about the dragon realm. Yes, tragic nostalgic. Thank you. Saying, honestly, which is why I really probably should make an ASMR guided meditation to meet your dragon guardians, or to like you know, like an ASMR dragon realm journey, if you will. I have to go to bed. Bye. Thanks, Aurora, for joining your daily dose of dragon feather. It was so much fun having you here. You had some amazing questions, so it was absolutely wonderful having you here. Thank you for joining us. But the last section I have for you guys in today's video are just some misconceptions about dragon magic. I know we covered some in this live already. Number one is that there's one way to do it, all right? You have to work with your dragon guardian. You have to do it this way. You have to do like the inner rings. We didn't even touch about the inner rings because it's in the DJ Conway books, but like there's very many different ways to connect with dragons and to enter the dragon realm and to become a draconic high priestess, okay? But here's the thing. Here is the thing, okay? I need you to know that anyone, I'm going to say this again, I know I've said it, anyone who tells you there's only one way to work with dragons are false. Thank you. King Rogers, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the super chat. You have given me hope and made my night so much better. Keep it up, girl. Dude, thank you for reminding me why I need to do what I do. My dragon guardians tell me I need to go live every single day because people need to know a different perspective than what's commonly pushed out on their algorithms, right? I am here to hopefully help you guys have a different perspective. And if anything, if you think I'm crazy off my rocker, at the end of the day, I hope I can just make you laugh, because we need community more than anything, okay? Especially in today's world, we need to find strength within each other. When I falter, you've got my back. When you falter, I've got your back, okay? And we're here to remind each other that you can choose whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. Okay, which is why a huge misconception about dragons is that you can't work with, you know, other like you can't work with, you know, what's it called? You can't work with dragons if you're a Christian. False. You can't work with dragons unless you, what's it called? You can't work with dragons if you're Muslim. False. You can't work with dragons if you know, aren't a witch. False. Like, you can work with dragons no matter who you are. No matter who you are, I don't care your religious identity. You can literally be an atheist and work with the symbolism of dragons, and they're still present in your life. That is the power of dragons. That is the power of dragons. Okay? Hello! I have a guest. Hold on. Hello?
Should I email for some?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I have to do some work. Hold on. And I faltered. I falter, can't stand on my own ground. Wow, what a throwback. That's such a freaking thing. Again with the poo. Oh my god, I know. I know many atheists with dragon and fairy tattoos. Exactly, DeForest Morgan. Like, some people find power simply in the symbolism of dragons, right? Like, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, that is literally the most beautiful thing about, like, working with dragons, is just how differently it shows up for everybody. Please forgive me. I'm just trying to finish some work right now. I know I got like this thing called a day job. I just have to do some things. Anyway, I digress. What's your favorite dragon? Ooh, I think I'm my favorite dragon. Blades, arts and crafts. Love your name and welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. That was such a phenomenal question. Thank you for that. But I just gotta sign some documents for these people's. But yeah, dude, it really just doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, I need you guys to be so secure in the sense that, like, you can be whoever you want, okay? You can be whoever you want and work with dragons. Like, I don't care who says what. If anyone says otherwise, they're fucking crazy. I don't use that term often, okay? But I will shame people for saying they can't work with dragons. I am not above that. I will shame the hell out of people for saying they can't work with dragons for X, Y, or Z. No, you can literally start today seeing this video and be like, fuck Azura Dragon Feather, fuck anyone who creates content on dragons. I'm gonna make my own dragon religion. You got it. You got it. Go do you, girlfriend. More power to you. Because, like, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an experience for you to have, for you to explore, for you to connect inside of you. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Another common misconception is that draconian and draconic are the same thing. No, they're not. Draconic magic is working with dragons. Draconian magic is becoming the dragon, okay? Overlap sometimes. There's overlap, don't get me wrong. Different, right? So that's why some draconian laws will be called draconian laws, because of how strict and rigid and controlling they are. And that's because when you work with dragons, they're very strict and controlling and rigid with what you have to do to work with them, right? But some of these people are doing that, or making these laws to suppress people's power to elevate themselves. Really just depends. It really just depends. I tried to make a vampire religion at one point, but to be honest, vampirism already is one, to be honest. Oh, you guys don't even know how, like, into the vampire culture I am, and barely escaped that shit. I know so much crazy shit about the vampire culture in LA. Like, I could make a video about it, but if I did, I would put so many targets on my back. It would be very scary. It's very culty. Okay, dragons and vampires are pretty closely intertwined in the research I did. Yes, they are. They very much are. You can also work with vampire dragons, right? Some dragons will teach you vampire magic, even if they aren't vampire dragons. Anything can be a dragon. You just put any word in the English or any dictionary and put a dragon on the end and you can work with it, okay? Like, this is what my guardians tell me. Some people might disagree with that, and that is valid. You can have your own practice and perspective. Azura, please allow Goddess Azeroth or Queen Lilith closer to your path. I feel like their infernal feminine energy would support you like crazy. I'm supported by both and cannot recommend them enough. Yes, it's so crazy that you say that because, you know, I call her Mother Lilith, but Lilith has been very, very present in my life recently. I will say Pickle Chips kind of keeps her on a leash. Vampire dragons and vampire magic, I need to know more right now. I will definitely do more on it, but here's the basic gist of it. I can't share too much because certain dragons that I work with around this topic are like, no, this is classified, right? But what I can share with you is that my dragon guardians helped me learn how to use energy harvesting as a form of healing my anxiety or bringing me back down to a grounded state, a regulated state. That's the word I'm looking for. So a lot of the times when I'm anxious or ungrounded, it is because I'm giving my energy away and I'm not sealing my energy within me. So what they will tell me to do, oh, I can't say that. Oh no. Okay. How can I say this? I'm so sorry, Nightmare. How can I say this? I can say it like this. Anything has energy, right? Everything has energy, right? So when I struggle, sometimes I'll literally just go up to a tree and like suck the energy out of the tree. How do I describe that? I will just like absorb it. Does that make sense? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some meditation after this live stream. I would love to do a vampire dragon, vampire magic live stream. It's a huge part of my practice that I'm just not allowed to talk about a lot. It came up naturally in this stream, so that's why I'm talking about it. Is it better if me and you discuss this in private, or are you not allowed to discuss it, period? I'm really not allowed to discuss it, period. I really got a hardcore like gag order right there. That was really intense. But it's mostly just because like, I think I need to like work at perfecting it more in order to like not like misguide people, I think. In a month, I'll be getting a scarification of dragon scale sleeve on my right arm. Any ideas how to transmute the overall experience pain into my purpose? Honestly, Voice of Dragons, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard. But the pain of that experience, the intuitive hit I'm getting off of this is to let your, you know, like whatever memories or whatever things might come to the surface when you're getting that, you need to lean into that. You need to lean into those visions. You need to lean into that pain. You need to lean into those triggers. And to transmute that pain into power, you need to collect those parts of yourself that are still lost, right? I got a book called Dragon Magic by DJ Conway. Yes, have you read it? Yes, Sean Harris. That was one of the books that got me into what I am now as a dragon witch. I literally mentioned it a little bit earlier in this video. But yes, I love that book. It is kind of controversial in the sense that DJ had to put in some false information in there in order to get the books published, like the dragon script, for example. But there are some truths in there, okay? There are some falsehoods, but there are some truths. It's a great place to start, but you shouldn't base your whole practice around that being the truth, right? When we read things, especially about dragons, I need you to I need you to have the perspective of like a scholarly academia one, right? Like you're researching for your paper. You're not looking for the truth, okay? I hope that helps. How long have you been practicing Blades of Arts and Crafts? I have been practicing consciously for nearly 20 years, but I've been working with dragons as early as I could remember. My first memories as a little girl were playing with my dragon imaginary friends that I later found out were my dragon guardians, but the adults in my life were just like, she has an overactive imagination, right? So I kind of lost it. And I got bullied a lot in school for just being geeky, cheeky, and freaky, as you would. I checked, my book is called Vampire Magic by Father Sebastian. Please don't read anything from him. Please don't read anything from him. Please don't read anything from Father Sebastian. I've had some very scary encounters with him in a personal way, please. No thank you, no ma'am. No thank you, no ma'am. Red flag, red flag. I wanna cry. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see I have a carpet photo from the vampire ball. My dragon guardian says I can share this because it's really topical. The vampire ball is a giant harvesting ritual. All I'm gonna say is that. Never go back there. It wasn't me. Who said that? Who said that? Who said, no, wasn't me. No, I didn't say it. It wasn't me. No, thank you, no ma'am. No, thank you, no ma'am. It was not me. I've heard he's a cult leader. A hundo P. Yes, he is. Okay. Anyway, Kirsty, hi, sir. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. We pretty much finished the stream of like the, the notes that I had to cover for the intro to Dragon Magic, but here we're just kind of doing a Q&A. Okay? We're diminishing, we're breaking the misconceptions, right? We're breaking them down. And then we're bringing it back to the, to what's kind of real and what's kind of not in terms of dragons. Ashe Anarchy, haven't seen you on OF in a while. Just curious if you have any plans. Yes, we're going to be talking about sex magic there. All right? It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be totally different than what it's been in the past. So it's going to be a really great time. So if you're just, if you're interested in that, it's a really good course, but it's definitely not for children, okay? Good talk, good talk. Let's see. You didn't say anything. LOL, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Stephanie Joe, it's all good. Welcome to your Daily Dose Dragon Feather. We're talking about dragon magic and how you can start practicing that. Basically, what's the thing? Basically, dragon magic is magic raising energy to enact upon a desired change in your reality with the help of dragons. You know what I mean? Luna, Rainbow, welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. I hope you're doing well. How are you? Just say what's up, my friends. Kalanag, hey, what's up? Welcome to your Daily Dose Dragon Feather. We're talking about dragon magic, as we do. If you guys have any questions about dragon magic, we're pretty much done with the ending, right? Yeah, for the most part. The last real misconception about dragon magic that I have for you guys is that it's evil and it's devil worship. Although I'm pretty sure you guys could have put that one together on your own because you guys are a bunch of smart people. I'll have to watch it back. It's a really good one. I highly recommend, Christy. But I will say that we get a lot of bad raps, especially from, what's it called? That's okay if you don't believe they're real, Kalanog. They're real to me. So if you're just here for the entertainment part of it, you're more than welcome to. So the kind of thing is when it's like about the dragons and like working with them, you know what I mean? I get called like crazy, or like I'm talking to demons, or I'm talking to jinns, or I'm talking to aliens, right? It just really doesn't matter, you know? At the end of the day, dragons are dragons, okay? Anyone else is gonna perceive you how they want. You can't argue with people's beliefs, okay? Like, if you don't believe dragons are real, you will not experience them. What a pathetically sad reality. In my personal experience, okay? I just think dragons are so awesome, everybody needs them. I could be wrong, though. I'm just a little biased, and by a little, I mean very biased, because I would not be here where I am today, without them, okay? You owe the Dragon Guardians my life. I would not be here without them, okay? If you ever get a chance, you should go to Central Europe. They have a lot of lore about them. Yes, I know. My heritage is from Central Europe, like my bloodline. And tracing back my like heritage, I've learned a lot about dragons and fairies. Funny enough, Blades Arts and Crafts. So I really do hope, fingers crossed, to go to Stonehenge one day. That is on the bucket list, and I'm supposed to do a ritual there. Don't really know how that's gonna work out, but I have faith that the Dragon Guardians will make it happen. It says, having a NAD weekend, feeling stuck and wondering why things are going weird, and I'm being held back from my twin, and I hound my really, oh no, okay. Please know that with everything that's going on in the cosmos, in terms of astrology, it is breakup season, okay? It really is, okay? It's really, truly breakup season right now, so the best thing that I can do and recommend right now is to just sincerely stop trying to analyze your feelings, okay? And to stop, like, I guess, like, escalating your feelings. Like, you need to kind of just, like, sit back and, like, hold on to the ride a little bit, right? It's just a lot. There's just so many retrogrades, okay? So many contracts are being undone right now. Nobody's immune. I've gotten in some pretty interesting, like, I guess, arguments with my boyfriend recently. Not in like a bad way, but just like, you know, butting heads. Strong personalities butt heads sometimes. But there's that. I think it's where they get that it's evil from. Did I miss your, I think I missed your previous message. Did I? Oh, I don't know. It says, I've heard he's a co-leader. Anyway, I think it's where they get that it's evil. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's mostly because, like, you know, mainstream religion really hates on witchcraft because witchcraft makes you an independent thinker, right? It makes you creatively think, and it makes you harder to control. If you don't have a pre-plugged in belief system that people can pull the strings on, you're very much not manipulatable, right? So here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. You have to know that it's truly like it's another like case by case basis scenario, but at the end of the day, like, working with dragons is not evil. You know, there are good and bad people in every practice, but to label the people who work with dragons as evil is harmful, right? There's no precedent for that. In the way that, like, Christians being evil, there's a precedent for that. Like, they literally make laws that take away people's rights. You know what I mean? Like, there's precedents for them being evil. Does that make every Christian evil? No. But it's the same way that, like, you know, a black person is going to probably not know if a white person is a good white person or not. They're going to treat them all with caution, as they should, right? Because they can be dangerous, especially if they just aren't aware of themselves. And even then, they might be dangerous. In the same way that women might, you know, not know which man is good, but they're going to treat all men with the same caution because that is what's going to keep them safe at the end of the day. But to say, you know, that all men are evil, we have precedent for that. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, you will find a woman having a bad story about men. But does that mean that all men are evil? No. Does that mean that all Christians are evil? No. Does that mean that all Catholics are evil? No. The problem is when you start labeling people as absolutes, right? When I say all men are bad, or when I say all Christians are evil, or when I say all draconic practitioners are evil, or all witches are evil, that is just not, why do we got to do that? Why do we got to do that? Chill. Sit back in your seat, man. Take a deep breath. Chill. Okay? Chill. Yeah, literally every woman I know has a horror story about men. Yeah, it's really fucking sad. I am one of them. Caden Brown, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Da, 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 da. The comparisons you just made were very insightful and eye-opening. Hell yeah, I'm glad they could help, my friend. Thank you for tuning in and being open to hear it, because, you know, just having a little bit of a different perspective every now and then is really good for the soul. It really nourishes the soul, my friend. You know what I mean? So all I'm here to do is remind you guys that we live in a world of possibilities, and anyone who tries to limit your possibilities is trying to limit your power, okay? Because if people were to say you could be whatever you want, you could believe in whatever you want, who knows who people would really look like, and who knows what our planet would look like. I have a very strong guess that it would look a lot better than it does now, because everybody would be following their soul's spirit guidance, right? It's 11:11 here. Hell yeah, 11:11 party. I love numerology. Obsessed. I love angel numbers. Obsessed. Okay. So yeah, you know, like anytime, you know, someone's trying to tell you can't do something, or tell you that you're evil for what you believe in, that is an attempt to put fear in your heart and to remove you from your faith. And let me tell you something else. The people who don't believe in the things that you believe in will not stop until they can get you to revoke your faith in what you believe in, because that will make them feel powerful. Okay? It will. It will make them feel very powerful if you give up your faith, if they bully you for it. Do not give it up. Okay? No matter what you face, if you believe in dragons, believe in dragons before you believe in any of that shit. Okay? Fear is a liar. Yes. Yes. False evidence appearing real. Or you can face everything and rise. And the dragons will help you conquer that. The biggest lesson with dragons is overcoming your fear in every way. Every way. I promise you. I promise you, they're here to help you. They're here to help you. As a transgender man, I never had any adult bad experiences with men. All of mine happened in childhood and preteen years. I'm thankful, though we are definitely more privileged than trans women and cis women. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. You know, like, it's just, everybody's experience is different. It really is, you know? In my personal experience, a certain mainstream religion you must follow with no questions asked versus witchcraft. You are your own leader and goddess of your own reality. I left said mainstream religion. Of course, Stephanie Joe. I was the same way. I will believe in God the way I want to believe in God. I will believe in God the way I want to believe in God. Period. And I don't need a preacher, I don't need a prophet, and I don't need a church or a book to tell me otherwise. You know what I mean? Put the power back in my hands, right? I like your strange hat. It shows you have a great personality. Oh, thanks, Richard Copeland. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feathers. The horns are so legendary, I've written a song about them. So if you want to hear my song about my hat, it's called Horns by Azura Dragonfeather. I will have a very, very nice professional version of that song very soon. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super exciting. Any tips on magic to help attract a soulmate? Honestly, energetically, I need you to become. You attract who you are, not who you think you are, okay? So I need you to become the best version of yourself to attract the best version of a partner, right? I would not have the man I have in my life now had I not done the work to become a better person, to become a more secure person, and I wasn't perfect when I met him. I've had a lot of growth since I've been with him. But I realized that I wasn't going to attract a healthy partner until I decided what I wasn't going to accept anymore. You have to choose your standards, Christy. What will you accept? What will you not accept? What will you tolerate? What will you not tolerate? That will determine on attracting who you want, right? If someone comes into your life and you have a boundary of no religious, like we got to be on the same religion, for example, like we got to both believe in magic or something like that, and someone comes in your life and they don't fit that standard, if you don't cut them out, you're going to enter into a karmic cycle, into a lesson that's going to not end in a nice way, right? You have to choose. This isn't going to be for me. This isn't going to be for me. Soulmates usually show up when the time is right. I would argue usually, yes, you're right, usually, but the better and more you work on your brain, work on your mind, and work on embodying who you are and your purpose, you can start to create your life. You can start to manifest your SP or specific person, or like your soulmate, right? Like I was manifested by my boyfriend. I'm maybe one day he'd be open to sharing that story, but like he very much asked for me by name, and I don't know how that works, but that blows me away, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just, life is more peculiar than you think, okay? And the best thing that I can recommend is pouring all of your energy into you and becoming who you want to be. Create a life that you love, because then you have something to share with somebody else. Then you have, the space to attract and really invite someone into your space, right? But you know what? At the same time, soulmates sometimes aren't romantic partners. Like the most cherished soulmate of my whole life was my little kitten, Keisha, who passed away in 2020. May she rest in paradise. She was with me for 19 years. And she essentially raised me, would not eat unless I was eating, would not go to the bathroom unless I went to the bathroom. Like she would make sure that if I was crying, she would come up to me. If I had a nightmare, she was right there. Never had a cat like it. Don't think I'll ever have a cat like that again. She was my soulmate. I do not care. I do not care what anyone else says, right? But it just depends, I guess, on your vision. And sometimes you believing that you don't have a soulmate, or that no one's in your space, or that no one's gonna love you, or that you're single, might actually keep you single. It really just depends. You know what I mean? It really just depends, which is why the thing that's gonna make you the most attractive and magnetic to your desires is becoming the version of yourself that you need to be in order to effortlessly have it happen. If that makes sense. That's really great advice, thank you. I have been doing that, so I'm in the right path. Yes, you are, Christy. I totally feel it too. Energetically, you're doing great for yourself. I really believe that. The struggles that you're having, in your life are very normal for human beings to go through. Even the dark shit that's hard, that makes you feel like no one would understand. It's human. You're human. You're doing great, okay? I promise you. You really are. As for most of you guys, who are here regularly, you guys are actually rock stars, and you guys probably don't give yourself enough credit. My dragon guardians tell me that all the time. They're like, you guys are literally downplaying how badass all of you guys are. Seriously, same here. It's hard, but I'm getting better. I feel it. I believe it. I believe it too. I believe in you, Luna. I know you got this. Keep going. The second you put your eyes outside of yourself on your twin or on a soulmate or a potential partner, you're depleting your energy. You're giving it away. You're becoming actually a repellent, oddly enough. But the second you turn your focus inward and you pour your energy to yourself, you're becoming magnetic, and that's what's going to attract the life that you want. I'm happy with my bird. He makes my day. I love birds. Oh my gosh. I used to have a bird named Justin. Rest in paradise, Justin. You were a badass. I love birds, okay? Hence, Azura Dragonfeather. All birds of a feather flock together, and I love them all. Thank you, Azura's Guardians. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, for real, guys. Like, you know, the world is much more connected than you realize, especially in the spirit world. You know, everybody knows everybody in the spirit world, okay? Whether or not you believe that, that this is my truth, right? This is just my experience. And the only way I have been able to navigate life and sit here to tell you this today and have the wisdom I do and the experience I do is simply because I'm a girl who follows her dragons, singing songs along the way. And I don't let anyone else take that away from me now. I learned that lesson the hard way, because when I let people take that away from me, guess what happened? I abandoned this channel. And I abandoned this channel, and by extension, I abandoned you. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry if not having my content for years really was hard for you, because that is my purpose. I'm here to help you. I don't care what anyone else says. My life is not my life anymore. It's not. My life is in service to others until the day I die. #dragons, okay? Like, literally, that's what they tell me to do. It's very much a sacrificial life, okay? And I fully am aware of that. And some people in my life do not resonate with it. They're very scared for me with what I do and my conviction. And you know what? Let them. Let them be scared. Let them be worried. You know what I mean? Let them. I've adopted every human being in the world as my child. That's why I call you guys the hatchlings. I don't care if people think that that's impossible. If people can hate everybody without knowing them, then I can love everybody without knowing them. Easy. Easy. #Rosie. She's the one who told me, you're a mama. You're a mama to the world. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of women here who've come to this planet to be mother figures to humanity. I am one of them. Nice to meet you. If you need a mom, I will be your mom. Did you brush your teeth? Did you drink water? When did you do laundry? Did you clean your room? I know it might sound annoying, but trust me, if you just focus on these mundane tasks and getting professional at doing laundry, I want you to become professionals at doing laundry, at taking care of your body, washing your body, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, if you have enough hair to brush, and literally keeping your clean clothes, keeping your space clear, eating the good foods. Please, I need you to become professionals at that. Because that is the foundation to the most magic you can ever experience in this life. My dragon guardians told me that. You know? And it's so funny because you get me in a room with anybody who doesn't believe in dragons, I'll eat them for breakfast. I hope one day I can do these like podcast debates. It's like honestly something I really want to do. Because I will just I'll own the world that way. Because like truth resonates. Real truth resonates, okay? And on these podcasts, most people are just saying some controversial shit back and forth to get some clicks, right? No. Real truth resonates. It does not suppress people, okay? It might trigger people to want to suppress you for speaking the truth, right? Speaking the truth will make you very unpopular. I'm so serious. But I digress. The reality is that when you hear the truth, it'll resonate in your heart of hearts, and you'll know that it's real. And that's what I tell people about dragons. The truth about dragons being real resonates with those that they are meant to be real for. And the dragons will find you if they're meant to be in your life. You don't have to worry about it, because anything that is meant for you in this life will be for you. Cannot be taken away. Cannot be taken away. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Have faith in that. Have faith in that. And anything that is not for you, no matter how hard you try, will never work. Never, 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 never. Okay? My necklace is titanium aura quartz. This is a piece I got from Venice Beach, wrapped by a person called... are they, hold on, they're called crystals, they're crystals, not connection, hold on, I have to find their name. It's like gonna kill me if I can't find their name. They're amazing. They're at Venice. They like literally wrap things often, and this is one of the crystals that I work with my dragon guardians. It has a keyhole on the back. You see the like indent. A keyhole basically means that there was another crystal that grew into this crystal and came off in the mining process or in the like the, you know, crystal process, and left a little mark. So I'll rub my thumb on it to get information from the higher realms. Let's see, crystals. Damn, I'm really not sure what their name is off the top of my head, but I will do a video where I shout them out, if that makes sense. So someone else could potentially wear it or have it, the other piece somewhere. Yeah, 100%. Or it could be lost to the dirt. We don't know. I have also had crystal clusters like break apart in my hand to reveal keyholes. Really fun. Really fun. Crystals are a huge part of my practice. They were probably the, you know, introduction to my practice, and as Dragonkin, I would say that like I'm crystal Dragonkin, if that makes sense. At least that's the only real like vision I get when I work with my guardians about like what kind of dragon I am in a spiritual way, I guess. Hi, my name's Azura. The name Azura comes from the crystal azurite. If you don't know what the crystal azurite looks like, this is what it looks like. This is one of my prides and joys. This is one of the best crystals in the world. Just look at her. It looks like a planet. Okay, I can't breathe. Anyway, Jesus great. Hey, K Ramesh, we love Jesus on this channel. I have a crystal called a dragon egg. Starts with a S. Are you familiar? Septarian? Septarian. Yes, I think so. Imagine one of the hatchlings having the other piece and they meet Azura IRL and they're both wearing that when they meet. That's crazy. Yes, it does look like Earth. I love it. Do you have dragon's blood crystals? Yes. Do I have some right by me? I actually might. Yo, that's crazy if I do. Hold on. I don't know if I have any. This is like my little miscellaneous little pot of shit. No, but anyway, here's an example of some of the shark teeth that we find on my property that I mentioned earlier. These are literally so common on my property. You can literally just walk by the mountain and like run your hand through the dirt and you'll literally just get like literally just like just all of this in your hand when you run your hand through the dirt. It's actually crazy. Septarian, yeah, do you work with it? Yes, I do. I don't have any actually, funny enough. Septarian that I've worked with has been in like a group sessions, but I'm working on getting my own because I just haven't really like resonated with any that I have found yet, I guess. I need more shark teeth. Yes, I know. Any plans to bring back your third eye gems? Yes, I will. Voice of the dragons. I took them away. I stopped wearing them publicly because in 2020 I started getting called out for being racist for wearing them, and I just did not know, but I didn't know any better, and so I was like, I like wanted to kind of like stop until I knew better, but like now I know better. It's not racist. Okay. It's not. It would be racist if I called them like bindies, right? But I don't call them that, right? If that makes sense. They're just, I was told to wear the third eye crystals because of my dragon guardians, and I have a lot. So I have a lot of new ones too. So there's that. Where can I get my crystals? Where are a good place to get them? I personally love Rock Paradise. I have been going to them for so long, obsessed. This was a gift from the owner of Rock Paradise. This is like my favorite piece of smoky quartz. I love it. I love it. But I would recommend checking out their website. They also do live crystal sales on their Instagram. And if you tell them that Azura sent you, they're going to love you. They're going to love you forever. And also, fun fact, one of the hatchlings works at Rock Paradise. So it's a great place to get your, great place to get your crystals, please. Please. It's an awesome place to be. There of course are other places you can get your crystals, but I just resonate with Rock Paradise because I have like that personal relationship with them, and I know that they do really hard work to make sure that their crystals are ethically sourced as best as they can be. So some crystals they have also told me like will never be ethically sourced, like Larimar, for example. Like Larimar is a blood crystal, and what I mean by that is like people die to get those crystals for you to buy them and be like, oh my god, wow. Rishu's here. Hey, Dragon Chick, do you remember me? Yes, welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. Good to see you. Well, it can be used. They use several different ones, but they both can use the same, which is definitely a money saver. Yes. Rock Paradise. Excuse me, it's called Rock Paradise, my friends. I used to love going to rock shows. Yes, I go to rock gem shows whenever I get the chance, though I am quite busy these days. Nice, prehistoric shark teeth. Yes, we love it. They're not megalodon teeth. They are, oh no. My aunt told me what they are. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been so long. But They're Mako shark teeth, thank you. She's a hard metal girl, not really. Just throwing it out there. I do offer custom gemstone jewelry. I also got plenty of mineral specimens available. Voice of the Dragons, do you have Cabicons? Like the crystals with the flat backs? Because I collect those for my third eye gemstones. But I would love. The little forest folk, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. If you guys have any questions about dragons before I head out here, I would love to answer them. But like, yeah, that's really just kind of my intro to dragon magic. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be so serious, rigid, this. You know what I mean? Just take showing up seriously, okay? I have a few, actually. I have a golden seraphinite and a cobalite. Oh my god, I want them! I want them now! Anyway, I'm gonna reach out to you after this stream, because yes. I would love to see pictures. Please send me pictures. I need to see them. But yeah, this is just like a basic introductory to dragon magic, and like, it's really not that serious. The only thing you should take seriously is showing up and taking, you know, your connection and your practice with the dragon seriously, in the sense that you're disciplined and you're consistent in showing up, right? Like, if you can't, you know, do your ritual that day, hold on, gross. If you can't do your ritual that day, or, you know, maybe you had a busy day, maybe you have you had a hard day and you just don't have the energy, at least spend some time to consciously acknowledge them, you know? That's all I can say, because every day you go without trying to connect with them is another day that builds distance between you and your dragons. You know what I mean? And I feel it. When I don't actively work with my dragons in a given day, I feel it. It disrupts my whole entire existence. I feel shaky. I feel insecure. I feel afraid. I feel lost. And the only way to bring it back is to check in with my dragons. And, you know, if you lose connection with your dragons for a while, I have been there. I have done that many times. The best way to get back on the path is to not shame yourself, okay? You're not gonna beat yourself up for it, all right? You're a human, you're allowed to be imperfect, and sometimes falling off the path is actually divine guidance on the path, okay? Law of paradox. And every step you take has meaning if you want it to. If you choose to perceive your reality that way, okay? It's up to you. Are demon dragonkin a thing, or would they be considered two separate kins? I know that all sorts of dragon hybrids exist already, but in the terms of being a kin, does it exist as a kin? No, you haven't asked this question already, and I'm going to answer it in the sense how, like, I call myself dragonkin, but if you really want to get, like, super specific about it, I, like, am dragon faekin, and so that would be considered, like, a dragon fairy hybrid, right? But I don't consider myself, like, I don't consider myself having two kin types. I'm not fairykin. I don't identify as fairykin. I'm dragonkin under the umbrella as dragon faekin, right? So some might say fairykin under the umbrella dragon faekin, but like I would say that it's more on the dragon side, right? Demon dragonkin, yes. Anything exists, could be a kin type. That's what my guardians tell me. You know, it's really a subjective experience. Anyone can be whatever they identify as. It just depends on your personal experience. It really is not more serious than that. You know what I mean? People are gonna have their own perspectives and opinion. That's very true. But somebody who would be considered like demon dragonkin might identify as only having one type, like one kin type. But somebody who like identifies as like demonkin and dragonkin might feel like they have two kin types, but they express themselves very similarly. It just depends. How do you know if you're dragonkin? I honestly should make a whole video on that. That is a loaded question. I'm Your Feel Studios. So that we'll add that to the roster of topics. A lot of work. I'm just gonna say it's similar to the kind of work that you put in to like find your past lives, right? It's a lot of trial and error, a lot of dream work, a lot of, you know, divination, a lot of work with your guardians. Not everybody who's dragonkin works with dragons in the way that I do. I just went to Rock Paradise on Instagram and followed them, and that left a message telling them you sent me there. Thanks, hun. Of course, Lunar Rainbow. Hopefully soon I will be able to offer curated crystal packages with them. We're just like working on it. There's just a lot going on, especially because like my boyfriend and I are getting ready to go on tour. super exciting. I need to literally probably make a little mini stream about that, or just like a little mini like video about it. But the first tour date is in LA on the 28th. You can buy tickets if you go to adilsey.com. I will be at every single show. We're going to across America and in Canada and Toronto. So it's gonna be really exciting. I'm excited to meet a lot of you. A lot of you guys have already got your tickets, so it's just gonna be awesome. It's just gonna be a great time. Tickets are pretty affordable too. So it's like $10 a ticket. Sometimes it's $20 for VIP. Sometimes it's $40 for VIP tickets, just depending on the venue. So there's that. I do have more information about the tour on my Instagram. The Instagram is linked down below. If you are interested, you can message me on Instagram and I'll send you the link if you want to get your tickets. But I feel like there's a lot of power in just feeling and identifying as such, maybe even something you could spiritually become in the future. Life's maybe not necessarily in this one, but names have power. Saying I am dragon, I have power over my life is so powerful and does so much. Just that, even if you aren't sure your dragon can. Yes, DeForest, Morgan, I love this. I love this, I love this, I love this. Such a beautiful take. Because my whole life, especially early, trying to see if I was dragonkin or not, was riddled with self-doubt, especially with all the hate I got on this fucking channel. I got ripped to shreds. I'm in so many cringe, like, Theorin compilations. It kills me a little bit. But, like, at the end of the day, like, some people would argue that following a draconian path would be, like, the act of becoming the dragon. So, like, that could be a practice to become that. Roughly, you know, I would still say dragonkin and draconian are very different, you know, a different take, if you will. Come to Colorado. Oh my gosh, I wish we had a Colorado tour date. They were pretty much fully booked. Hey, I don't know if you saw my messages, but I have tons. Oh yeah, I'm probably not sure if you did. Laugh the pain away. Literally, 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 my friends. Let's see. Yeah, the Septarian, I love Septarian so much, by the way. I want to see you, Trust. This is like my boyfriend's tour. Like, I will be going on my own tour very soon. It probably won't be this year just because there's a lot going on, like, in the background. But, like, when I do go on my own tour, I'm not missing Colorado because that's where I was born, okay? I promise. We're coming. I promise. Yeah, becoming your own god is a very ancient belief, so it would make sense that could become a dragon or demon or anything else on a spiritual journey. Exactly, DeForest. There's many different paths to the same thing is what my dragon guardians tell me, which is why people need to just chill and let people practice what they want. It's really so simple. I don't know why we're having, like, wars about this, dear Lord. Why is it so hard to just let people practice what they want? I'll never know, but amen to that, honestly, for real. Would your BF be upset if more people came to see you than him? Honestly, I think he would honestly really be into that. I'm not gonna lie. My boyfriend loves me because I'm just who I am, if that makes sense. Like, he's like, if you're bringing in a crowd, I'm obsessed, right? My Colorado soul sister, I know we will meet soon. I can feel it. I love you. Yeah, trust Luna, we will meet. Like, I'm gonna meet all of y'all. Do you know that? Like, it's a goal. My goal in life is to meet as many hatchlings as possible. I have to give you guys hugs, okay? Dragon hugs. We need the dragon hugs, okay? It's required. I can't. Here, give me a hug. Love you. I can't do that on the internet. I can't. It's you know? The entire crowd is shouting as they're making drag choices the whole time. Doesn't know what to do. It's so funny because, like, okay, like, the album that he's touring, he literally wrote it about me, you guys. So, like, I honestly think he would love that. Like even in some of the visualizers, like, he has, like, my pictures and stuff. It's, like, honestly so sweet. I don't even know. Like, I thank God every day that I have Adilsey in my life, because I wouldn't be here without him. I really wouldn't. I was in a very dark place, and to be loved is to be changed, and he poured his love into me selflessly and proved to me that men are capable of love, and men can be safe, and men can be great partners. When I literally did not believe, I was like, no ma'am, no sir, I don't believe. And he literally breathed life back into me, you guys. He gave me a space to feel safe, to collect myself, and now I'm able to show up as I do now. So I love him forever and always. You know what I mean? Are you friends with, or do you work with any other witches that don't work with dragons? Yeah, of course. Yeah, so much. If you go to the Hatchling clan, the amino that's linked down below. There's tons of witches in there that don't work with dragons that I'm very close friends with. Although I will say my closest friends are the witches that work with dragons, because that's just honestly my special interest. Hi, I'm autistic. But dragons are the special interest, okay? And like the way that I just am able to connect with people when we both can talk about dragons is my favorite thing in the world. Truly, truly my favorite thing in the world. Truly my favorite thing in the world. So I highly recommend. Yeah, I don't even know how that word came out of my face. Also autistic, hell yeah, DeForest to Morgan. I will say dragons are very autism friendly. You know, like they really help with the overstimulation. They give me a lot of guidance. They really help ground me in my reality, especially when it comes to like autistic meltdowns. I really turn to pickle chips for my autistic meltdowns. Pickle chips is the one that taught me how to regulate my nervous system, believe it or not. Wheeler dealer! Did someone say dragons and autism? Yes. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Hashtag autistic dragons. Yes. No, we love them. Every dragon is like neurodivergent. They got brains like that, if that makes sense. I think most, if not all, the hatchlings are autistic. Yeah, it seems to be that way. Nightmare Fuel Studios. At least somewhere on the spectrum, right? Like the content that I make, I promise you guys, disturbs neurotypicals. It does. It just does. Did you ever read the book Dragonology? Of course. Dragonology is literally what broke me into this as a child. Are you kidding me? My special interest started in dragons with the Dragonology books. I promise. Wheeler dealer, we are the same person, okay? I promise you. Starboy, hi! Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. I don't know if I'm autistic. Lunar Rainbow, I'm not gonna label you. I don't know either. But chances are the algorithm might think you are. Did Pokemon help you on your dragon journey? Because I felt like Pokemon and Bakugan are very dragon-esque. Yes, DeForest, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Yes, I have tons of like Dragon Bakugan. I loved that shit as a kid. But truly my first experience with like falling in love with dragons was via Pokemon as a little kid. Because Pokemon came out the same year that I did. And look at this one. Look at this one. Look at my Charizard Rayquaza hybrid. I love him. I love him. I don't care, I love you all. Hell yeah, I love you too. First came dinosaurs, then dragons, then kaiju. Yes, Wheeler dealer. I have to make a video about kaiju because there's just so many mythology like overlapping with kaiju and dragons. It's so important. Kaiju would be considered like a subcategory of dragons, at least in the sense that I work with my dragons, right? They say that dinosaurs and kaiju are under the dragon umbrella term, but everybody is entitled to their own view of dragons. That is also what my guardians tell me. Because what? Why would it would be so? Yes, Digimon, digital monsters, digital countdown. Okay. You guys are unlocking. My hidden dreams. But yes, this is Rayquaza. We love him. He's the best in the world. We love him. Yes, we love him very much. He has a cute little soft belly. I am obsessed. The Ritvo Autism Asperger Diagnostic Scale revised is available online. As a test, it's 95% accurate, but I would still highly recommend getting a professional opinion, but self-diagnosis is respected in the adult autism community. Yes, DeForest. I unfortunately will probably never be able to get an official autism diagnosis just because of the work that I do. It would make a lot of unnecessary obstacles in what I do, unfortunately. But that's why I really rely heavily on my dragon guardians, and that's just my truth, okay? Some people benefit from a diagnosis. I am not one of those people. And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. Everybody's journey is different, and a diagnosis is a privilege. So please know that getting diagnosed with any sort of mental illness is a privilege, okay? Not everybody has access to that. And even if they do have access to that, not everybody can pursue that for their own reasons. So I just wanted to let you get, just want to leave that there. Could it be possible to learn a form of fire or water bending from working with dragons? I don't see why not, Christy. I don't see why not. I see people bending elements all the time online. I really do. It's really changed my perspective of what's possible. When I was between 4 and 6, I would draw dragons of all kinds and give them dragon names, things that sounded very draconic in my opinion, especially for a child, names that sounded like like Voltor, Kinvolden, etc. Yes! Oh my god, voices of the dragons. Okay, by the way, guys, if you're in this chat and you do not know who Voice of the Dragons is, he's one of the only people who's a man who talks about dragons who's like super on it, okay? I'm so inspired by his content. Please go follow him. Please. Please. Please, okay? We're gonna have him on the channel soon, but please follow him, okay? He's amazing. I've transmuted heavy stuff from my own Akashic records, so yeah, it can be done. It can def be done. Exactly. Exactly, 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 exactly. Those were just made up examples, by the way. Of course they were. No, I totally got you. I did the same thing. When I was a little girl, and I first learned about the Egyptian mythology in class, I went home and I started making all of my own dragon pantheon. Yeah, you heard it. I made my own dragon pantheon as a kid. I still work with them today. I really don't talk about it. I know, like, I talk a lot about it on this channel, but that is one thing that I'm not allowed to share with you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to share that. I think one day I'll be able to share my dragon pantheon with you that I made when I was a kid. But like, you know, that's like truly my first experience with, like, I guess dragons in a conscious way, like in like a religious way, because like I was making like dragon gods and goddesses, right? I was inspired by the Egyptian mythology, truly. And yeah, that's just what happens, you know? It's just what happens. Much appreciated. Hell yeah, Voice of the Dragons. Thank you so much for doing all that you do. You know what I mean? Like, please don't ever let people put you down, because you are so powerful in your truth, okay? You inspire people, you help people so much. Don't ever doubt that shit, okay? I'm letting you know this right now. It's not allowed to doubt. No doubting allowed. Okay. My first OC was a human possessed by the spirit of Fafnir and could transform. Wheeler Dealer, I love that. What the hell? I can say this probably collectively for Gen Z, but the Hex Girls got me into paganism and witchcraft. Oh my god. My dad always called me the like lead girl from Hex Girls, like back in the day when I was like super emo, right? I literally looked like the main girl from Hex Girls. Oh my god. Hex Girls, huge influence in my life too. Trust. Witchcraft plus music, my life, okay? Literally my life. What do you consider the most draconic place on Earth? Are you ready for this? This one might really surprise you. Are you ready? The most draconic place on Earth is the deep ocean. The deep ocean. The deep ocean has the most draconic energy on the planet. Fight me in the comments. OMG, thank you. I got so much hate back when I first started. It's so inspiring to be with community now. Hell yeah. Hells yeah. Voice of the Dragons. Especially when I first started my channel, nobody was making videos about this shit, brother. Literally nobody. Like, maybe there was like one other two people who were also making it, but not in the way that I wanted to pursue the dragon magic, right? Like, I didn't see anybody talking about like witchcraft with Wicca. I didn't see anybody talking about dragons with Wicca. I was very Wiccan when I found out about the draconic path, right? And you know, I really got a lot of hate for it too, you know, like, especially in the witchy community at the very beginning. A lot of people, especially who were for some reason in Hellenism, were very harsh on my practice with dragons. They were like, dragons aren't real, like, fairies aren't real. I'm like, bruh, you literally work with a pantheon of goddesses that people say aren't real, and you're gonna tell me something's not real? Like, the math isn't mathing. Your brain is not fucking working. We got you, hun. Hell yeah, we do, Lunar Rainbow. Have you not seen those deep sea fish? Effing dragons, all of them. Nightmare Fuel Studios, that's what I'm saying. They're all dragons. I swear fish are dragons. I don't know. I don't know if you can convince me otherwise. They're a type of dragon. Everything is a dragon in my eyes. Help. Help. Even my body is made up of dragon cells. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I saw something similar. A lot of hatred when people first started working with Medusa and making videos about her as a goddess. Yeah. I think in modern time, Medusa has really morphed into a goddess because her message in solidarity with women who have, you know, survived sexual assault or worse, find a lot of solidarity within the symbolism of Medusa, I myself included. And just, I wouldn't work with her as a goddess. I work with Medusa more as like an archetype. the same way that I work with all goddesses is like aspect of myself rather than deities I worship, if that makes sense. I know I've talked about it a little bit. I'll do a video one day about it. Hot take, all animals are dragons. I said what I said. Nightmare Studios. I am inclined to agree. I literally, like, I don't care. Like, I could take it that far too, you know what I mean? Do they work with Pegasi? LOL, they don't know their own creatures. That's what I'm saying, Heather London. Oh my god, thank you so much for validating me. Like, isn't the Hydra from that mythology too? Like, what? Oh my god, I had a dream catcher that was black and could bless people to change into dragons. Yeah, I know that's weird. No, that's not weird. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard, Nichelle Johnson. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. The Greek pantheon is literally full of dragons. That's what I thought, Nightmare Fuel Studios. So I didn't ever understand why I got so many hate from Hellenists. Like, I was like, bruh, like, especially in Pagans and Witches of Mino, they did not like me at all with the dragon stuff. They were like, excuse. All mythical creatures belong in one chat. Do you know that's how the Hatchling clan was started? I literally was sponsored. Okay, I think, you know what? I don't even care. Fucking sue me. I literally was sponsored. This video isn't sponsored, but I was sponsored by Amino to promote Pagans and Witches Amino. Loved it. I loved it so much. I went in there, okay? Promoted the shit out of it, okay? Loved it. Brought them so many members, okay? A huge reason why they have so many members is because of witchy creators like me, Harmony Nice, Anais Alexandri. I think she changed her name. I don't remember what her name is now, but I digress, etc. Those people were sponsored by Amino. Drove our audience there. That's a huge reason why they have so many people in that community, okay? And all they did was became super cliquey and like just shady. Like, if someone posted something, they would essentially copy it, post it on their own, and delete the other one for plagiarism. Weirdos. They literally were like, no, you can't have a chat for dragons, you can't have a chat for unicorns, you can't have a chat for fairies. They all have to be in one chat. And I was like, do you realize that's like me saying the Egyptian pantheon, the Greek pantheon, and the Roman pantheon belong in one chat? Like, that is literally the same. If they're all gods and goddesses, they belong in one chat. They did not like that, so I got a strike and I decided to make the Hatchling clan because we deserve our own space, okay? So there you go. The Greek pantheon has just as much, if not more, dragons than the North pantheon. Yeah, and I'm not surprised, you know? Heather Landon, I think there's some more creatures in the Iliad and Odyssey. Sirens, yes, you're absolutely right. There's so many. Arcane has also gotten a revival as a goddess. See, there's so many things that are happening in terms of like deities like coming back to life, but it's because the old gods are coming back, you guys. And some of the first gods and goddesses that humans ever worshipped were dragons. Do you understand? Dragons are older than Christianity. Dragons are older than Islam. Dragons are older than Judaism. Wake up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. Dragons are older than Rome. Dragons are older than Greece. Dragons are older than Egypt. Grow up. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot to unpack there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed your daily dose of dragon feather today. It is very much dinner time for me, so I have to go eat dinner. Dragon worship is the oldest form of religion. Yes, voice of the dragons. I will die on this hill. The earth is a plain of dragons. Dragons came here first before humans, and they will be here long after we're gone, okay? So there's that. All right. I am not spelling Guadalupe night oh too hard. Oh no, I can't even read that. Hail Lilith. Same. I'm a fairy Wicca, but I love magical beings. Hell yeah, Lunar Rainbow. I'm so obsessed with them too. High five someone that was wearing a Virgin Day near that city near Mexico City. Are you talking about what's it called? Are you talking about the Santa Muerte? By any chance? Anyway, Guadalupe. Oh yeah, Guadalupe. I love her. She's so amazing. I love you, Sarah. I love you all. Hugs. Oh my gosh, yeah, you guys are so much amazingness. There's so much good stuff. Writing a novel right now where Fae return more to their roots as uncanny valley tricksters. I have a lot of cool designs with them. Hell yeah, Wheeler Dealer. That's so exciting. You guys are so creative. Also, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for spending some of your day with me today. It does not go unnoticed here, okay? I could be talking to myself, but you guys were so sweet. Like, thank you for all the super chats today. It was such a fun stream. I had so much fun. You guys are literally, like, my life, okay? Like, and I don't take that lightly, okay? I don't just say that for shits and giggles and subscribers, whatever the fuck. Like, what I do on here is very purpose driven. And I want to make sure that you guys don't feel alone in your practice. I want to make sure that you guys don't feel alone in this scary world. We have each other at the very least. So thank you for, you know, giving your energy today and spending your time and leaving your comments and asking your questions and reminding me that this is why I need to keep doing what I do. So every room I walk into, I bring all of you guys with me, and everyone fucking feels that shit. So by the bottom of my heart, I honor you, you honor me, and I will see you very soon. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky! Little hatchlings. Bye. See you soon. Blessed be and bye.